What if the key to your success isn't out there somewhere? It's inside you, waiting to be unlocked. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to rise, no matter what life throws at them, while others feel stuck, frustrated, or overwhelmed? This video is for anyone who's ready to stop making excuses and start becoming their best self. We're going to dive into what it really means to take full responsibility for your growth, not just for a day or a week, but for your whole life. If you want to break free from limits, build real confidence, and create a life you're proud of, you need to understand this simple truth. Success begins with you. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change everything. Ready to commit to your future? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Take full responsibility for your own life today. There is one undeniable truth that can change everything. The moment you take full responsibility for your own life, you reclaim your power. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, but right now, this very moment. Imagine the relief and strength that come with knowing no one else controls your success, happiness, or peace. The weight of blaming circumstances, other people, or luck falls away, and what remains is pure freedom, the freedom to decide who you want to be and how you want to live. Taking full responsibility means standing firmly in the driver's seat of your life, not as a passenger who reacts to events, but as the conscious creator of your reality. It's not about blaming yourself harshly or feeling guilty for past mistakes. It's about owning your choices, your actions, and the consequences they bring without excuses or denial. This simple, often overlooked mindset shift lays the foundation for every breakthrough, every achievement, and every moment of true growth. This journey begins with understanding that your life's circumstances are not your life's definition. The challenges you face do not define you. What defines you is your response to those challenges. You might wake up one day feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or disappointed by what life has handed you. That feeling is real, but it doesn't mean you are powerless. On the contrary, within that moment lies an opportunity, an opening to change direction by taking responsibility for your future starting right now. Many people live their entire lives avoiding this responsibility because it's uncomfortable. It means admitting where you've fallen short, facing harsh truths, and letting go of excuses. It means no longer blaming others for your failures or waiting for the right time to start living the life you want. But here is the paradox. This discomfort is precisely where growth begins. When you stop shifting blame, you begin to build self-trust, resilience, and clarity. You become unstoppable. Taking responsibility means choosing honesty over convenience. When you honestly assess your situation, you see clearly where you can improve and where you need to change your mindset. It means examining your habits and decisions without sugarcoating. It means accepting that you are the author of your story, even if others have written parts of the plot for you. This acceptance is not defeat, it is empowerment. To live responsibly is to live deliberately. It means asking yourself questions that demand real answers. What am I avoiding? What excuse am I telling myself? What truth have I hidden because it's uncomfortable? The answers may sting, but they are your compass toward meaningful change. No transformation happens without this honest reckoning. This is where the real power lies, in choosing to act despite fear, doubt, or uncertainty. Action rooted in responsibility is different from action driven by pressure or guilt. It is calm, intentional, and steady. It's waking up every day and deciding to do what needs to be done, not because someone else told you to, but because you respect yourself and your goals enough to show up. Responsibility also requires patience and forgiveness. You will stumble, you will make mistakes. Owning your life means owning those moments too. Instead of falling into self-pity or blame, you learn to analyze what went wrong, extract lessons, and move forward. This process turns setbacks into stepping stones. Resilience grows from this cycle of taking ownership and rising again. Now, practical steps make this shift tangible. Start by listing areas where you feel stuck or frustrated. Be specific, then ask, how have I contributed to this situation? What decisions or habits have led me here? This is not about self-judgment, but clarity. Once you identify your role, ask yourself what you can do differently, starting today. Small, consistent actions compound over time. Create a personal responsibility journal. Each day write down one decision you made consciously and one excuse you resisted. Over weeks, you'll see patterns and progress. Accountability to yourself builds integrity and confidence. Share your intentions with a trusted friend or mentor who supports your growth. External accountability can reinforce your internal commitment. Learn to pause before reacting. When problems arise, train yourself to respond rather than react. Take a breath, acknowledge your emotions, and ask what responsible choice you can make in this moment. This habit shifts control from external events to your internal power. Remember, responsibility does not mean doing everything alone or rejecting help. It means owning your choices about who you let influence you and how you engage with support systems. Accept guidance, but decide your path. Let go of victim language. Replace phrases like, I can't, they made me, or it's not fair with I choose, I will, and how can I? This small language shift rewires your brain for empowerment. Embrace discomfort as a sign you are growing. Responsibility stretches you beyond comfort zones because growth never happens inside them. Lean into the discomfort with courage, knowing it's the pathway to your best self. Trust that by taking responsibility you are aligning with reality, not resisting it. Resistance wastes energy and creates frustration. Acceptance grounds you and frees you to act effectively. Begin each day by affirming your power. Speak clearly to yourself, I am responsible for my actions and outcomes. I control my effort and attitude. I choose progress today. These affirmations reprogram your mindset over time. Understand that success is not about perfection, but persistence in responsibility. Everyone makes mistakes, but those who win are the ones who own their journey and keep moving forward without excuses. This mindset transforms every area of life: relationships, career, health, and personal growth. When you take responsibility for your emotions, you stop being a hostage to others' actions. When you own your finances, you make smarter decisions. When you accept responsibility for your learning, you open doors to endless opportunities. You hold the pen to your life story. Taking full responsibility means writing intentionally, editing ruthlessly, and owning every chapter without apology. This is the foundation of true freedom. This is not a one-time decision, but a daily practice. Each day presents new choices, new chances to take charge. The moment you slip into excuses, bring yourself back gently but firmly to ownership. Imagine how your life would feel if you woke up knowing no one else controls your destiny. The peace, the power, the clarity. It's available now. The first step is always to claim it. Success, happiness, and fulfillment start from within. There is no magic outside yourself that can create these things sustainably. You are the source. No one can do this work for you. No one else can be responsible for your growth. Accepting this responsibility is the most courageous, life-changing act you can perform. Begin today. Refuse to let circumstances define you. Stand tall in your power. Decide that your life is your creation and your responsibility. Every small choice you make compounds into the life you desire. This truth is the greatest gift and challenge you will ever face. Embrace it fully and watch how everything changes. Responsibility is not a burden. It is the key to unlocking your best self and your greatest success. Chapter 2. Build daily habits that create unstoppable momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that turns the smallest actions into unstoppable progress, and the secret to harnessing it lies in the habits you build every single day. Imagine waking up every morning fueled by a powerful automatic drive that carries you forward no matter what obstacles appear. That's what daily habits do. They transform effort into ease, discipline into flow, and dreams into reality. The truth is, momentum doesn't happen by chance. It's created piece by piece through consistent choices repeated over time. One powerful habit sparks another, creating a chain reaction that builds unstoppable energy toward your goals. Without these habits, motivation fades, distractions win, and progress stalls. But with them, you become a force of nature, moving forward no matter what. Building habits that sustain momentum starts with understanding how habits work, not just superficially, but deep in your brain and behavior. Every habit follows a simple loop. A trigger prompts an action, which leads to a reward. When repeated, this loop becomes automatic, freeing your mind to focus on bigger challenges. Knowing this gives you the power to design habits that serve you instead of control you. Most people try to rely on willpower alone to make big changes, but willpower is a finite resource. It gets depleted by stress, fatigue, and distractions. That's why building habits is essential, because habits operate beneath willpower, carrying you forward when motivation is low or life gets tough. Start by identifying the keystone habits, the few small actions that have the biggest impact on your daily life. These might be as simple as making your bed every morning, drinking water first thing, or writing down your top 3 priorities. Keystone habits create ripple effects, influencing other behaviors and your overall mindset. Focus on these powerful habits to ignite momentum quickly. Next, make your habits easy and appealing. The brain resists complexity and effort, so simplify your habits to reduce friction. For example, lay out your workout clothes the night before, or prep healthy meals in advance. By removing obstacles, you make it effortless to begin, which is often the hardest part. Anchor new habits to existing routines. This creates natural triggers that cue your behavior without conscious effort. For instance, after brushing your teeth, meditate for 2 minutes. Over time, this connection becomes automatic and seamless. Don't underestimate the power of starting small. A habit only needs a tiny action to take root, like doing 1 push-up or reading 1 page. The goal is consistency, not perfection. When you start small, it's easier to overcome resistance and build confidence. These micro wins add up and fuel your momentum like gasoline to a fire. Track your habits openly and celebrate progress. Writing down what you've done creates accountability and reinforces your commitment. Seeing a streak of days builds pride and motivates you to keep going. Positive reinforcement, even in small doses, rewires your brain to crave continuation. When setbacks happen, and they will, respond with compassion and curiosity, not judgment. Missing a day or slipping up doesn't erase progress, it's part of the process. Analyze what caused the break and adjust your environment or approach. This resilience deepens your momentum rather than stopping it. Be mindful of your environment's role. Your surroundings shape your habits more than sheer willpower. Remove temptations and distractions, and fill your space with cues that support your goals. If you want to read more, place books where you can see them. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nourishing options. Designing your environment to favor good habits makes the path easier and more natural. Momentum thrives on variety and challenge too. While habits create structure, growth happens when you push yourself beyond comfort zones. Once your core habits are stable, introduce new actions that stretch your abilities or mindset. This keeps momentum fresh and prevents stagnation. Growth and momentum are partners. Momentum carries you forward. Growth expands what you're capable of. Another essential habit is reflection. Taking time each day or week to review what's working and what's not sharpens your focus. Reflection turns busy activity into meaningful progress. It helps you adjust habits that no longer serve your goals and reinforces those that do. This cycle of action, reflection, and adjustment keeps momentum aligned with your vision. Understand that momentum is emotional as well as physical. Energy, enthusiasm, and belief are fuel for progress. Habits that nurture your emotional well-being, like gratitude journaling, deep breathing, or connecting with supportive people, build emotional momentum. When your emotions align with your actions, resistance fades, and your efforts feel more natural. Momentum is not a one-time burst. It's a rhythm you create through steady practice. It's like a river gaining strength as tributaries feed it. Your daily habits are those tributaries, small, consistent, and intentional. Over time, they carve a powerful current that sweeps you forward toward your highest potential. Think of momentum as your silent partner, always working behind the scenes, pushing you past resistance, doubt, and fatigue. Once built, momentum requires less conscious effort to maintain, freeing your mind to focus on creativity, strategy, and bold action. Remember, the most successful people are not those who wait for motivation or perfect conditions, but those who build and guard their momentum with daily habits. They understand that extraordinary results come from ordinary actions repeated consistently. This is why daily habits are the foundation of unstoppable momentum. They create a compound effect that accelerates your growth and shields you from setbacks. Even when you feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed, your habits carry you forward. They become the engine that powers your success. Now is the moment to decide what habits will fuel your journey. Choose habits that support your goals, values, and well-being. Design your environment to make these habits easy. Start small and stay consistent. Track your progress and reflect often. Respond kindly to setbacks and adjust as needed. As you build momentum, notice how your confidence grows, how resistance weakens, and how your energy amplifies. Momentum turns daily effort into lasting transformation. This is the power you can create in your life. Daily habits that build unstoppable momentum, propelling you toward the future you desire. You are capable of more than you realize. Momentum is waiting. All you need to do is begin and never stop moving forward. Commit to this path and watch how everything changes. Your best self is built one habit at a time, every single day. Momentum is your key to unlocking that self and living with unstoppable purpose. Chapter 3. Cultivate a positive mindset to overcome challenges. Your life will change the moment you stop seeing challenges as curses and start seeing them as opportunities to grow into the strongest version of yourself. Every setback you've ever faced wasn't placed in your path to break you. It was placed there to show you who you really are and who you have the power to become. And the key to transforming those painful moments into fuel is your mindset. A positive mindset isn't about fake smiles or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about training your mind to stay grounded, hopeful and strong even in the darkest seasons of life. It's about choosing how you respond when life doesn't go your way. And it is a choice. One that most people never realize they have. But the moment you realize that your thoughts are shaping your reality, everything starts to shift. We all go through difficult seasons. Some people collapse under the weight. Others rise because of it. What makes the difference isn't luck, talent, or circumstances. It's the lens through which you view your situation. When your mindset is negative, you see obstacles as confirmation that you'll never succeed. When your mindset is positive, you see those same obstacles as tests you're capable of passing, steps that are preparing you for something greater. The problem is most people have trained their minds to expect the worst. Every failure becomes a story they tell themselves about why they'll never win. Every challenge becomes proof that life is unfair. Over time that becomes their identity. Someone who's stuck, who's unlucky, who's a victim. That identity becomes a prison, and that prison steals every ounce of their potential before it ever has a chance to grow. But here's the truth, your mind believes what you feed it. If you keep telling yourself you can't, your brain will find evidence to back it up. If you start telling yourself you will, your brain starts building the mindset, the focus, and the emotional strength to make it happen. The shift begins when you take back control of the story playing in your head every single day. A positive mindset is built, not inherited. It starts with awareness. What are you saying to yourself when you fail, when you're rejected, when plans fall apart? If your inner voice is filled with judgment, criticism, or defeat, it's not helping you grow, it's keeping you stuck. The first step is catching those patterns and interrupting them with something stronger, something truthful, something that reminds you that you're not broken, you're becoming. You cultivate positivity by constantly refocusing on progress, not perfection. The old version of you may have reacted with fear, anger, or hopelessness. But now you respond with calm, with courage, with clarity. You start reminding yourself that you've survived worse before, and you're not going to back down now. That shift in how you talk to yourself is where real power begins. Most people think positivity means avoiding pain, but the opposite is true. A strong mindset faces discomfort head-on and decides to grow from it. It doesn't flinch when things get hard. It doesn't panic when things go wrong. It steps into the chaos with a calm belief that this too will pass, and when it does, you'll be better for having endured it. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate this mindset is by feeding your mind daily with truth, inspiration, and purpose. What you consume mentally becomes the foundation of how you think. If you constantly listen to negativity, your thoughts will reflect it. But if you pour in wisdom, encouragement, and clarity, your brain starts to shift. It learns to look for solutions instead of problems. It begins to search for lessons instead of losses. Gratitude also rewires the way you process challenges. When your mind is trained to appreciate what's good, it becomes much harder to be dominated by what's hard. Every time you take a moment to recognize something you're thankful for, no matter how small, you're strengthening the parts of your brain responsible for emotional balance and inner peace. That shift is not magic, it's neuroscience, and it works. Another key to developing a positive mindset is managing who and what you allow around you. People's energy and words are contagious. If you surround yourself with those who only complain, compare, and criticize, your mind will mirror that energy. But if you choose to be around those who lift, challenge, and support you, your mind starts to absorb strength and possibility. That environment becomes the soil in which your mindset grows or withers. Reframing is another life-changing mental tool. When something bad happens, ask yourself, what else could this mean? What can I learn from this? How could this be preparing me for something greater? That doesn't mean lying to yourself or pretending bad things are good. It means looking deeper than your emotions and recognizing that there's always a different perspective. That skill, to pause and reframe, can turn anxiety into confidence and fear into action. Consistency is everything. A positive mindset isn't built in one moment of motivation. It's built every day through the decisions you make when no one's watching. When you choose not to complain. When you decide to find one thing to be thankful for, even when you're hurting. When you get back up and try again, even though you failed yesterday. That's where real positivity lives. Not in loud declarations, but in quiet discipline. Every time you overcome a challenge with a better attitude than before, you're building emotional strength. And the more strength you build, the more unstoppable you become. Because life will keep testing you. That's a guarantee. But how you respond is always within your control. Always. Imagine who you could become if your default mindset was calm instead of chaotic, focused instead of fearful, hopeful instead of helpless. That version of you already exists. You just have to train your mind to find them. You have to stop identifying with weakness and start aligning with growth. The most powerful people in the world have learned to master their mindset, not because their lives are easy, but because they've chosen to think in a way that supports their goals, not sabotages them. They've learned to separate emotions from decisions, to see pressure as preparation, to trust that every struggle has a purpose, and that purpose is to make them stronger. You have that power too, but it begins with taking responsibility for how you think. You can't control the world, but you can always control your response. And the quality of your response is shaped by the strength of your mindset. If you want to face challenges without fear, if you want to rise when others fall, if you want to feel peace even when your world is shaking, then train your mind like your life depends on it. Because it does. A positive mindset won't make problems disappear, but it will give you the strength to face them head on. It will help you see light where others see darkness. It will give you resilience when others are ready to quit. It will remind you in the middle of the storm that the storm is shaping you into someone unstoppable. Don't wait for your circumstances to change before you change your mindset. Start where you are. Choose better thoughts. Feed your brain with strength. Stand guard at the door of your mind and refuse to let negativity take control. This is your time to rise above the noise, to become the calm in the chaos, to lead your life with intention instead of reaction. The challenges will keep coming. That won't change. But you will. And once you do, there's nothing you won't be able to overcome. Cultivate the mindset that lifts you above fear, above doubt, above the limits you once believed were permanent. You were not born to break under pressure, you were born to rise through it. That power is already within you. Build it, strengthen it, live it. Now go. Master your mindset. Overcome every challenge and never look back. Chapter 4. Set clear goals that push you forward daily. If you woke up every single day knowing exactly what you were fighting for, you'd be unstoppable. You wouldn't waste time, you wouldn't hesitate, and you wouldn't be easily thrown off track, because clarity gives you power. It gives you direction, and direction creates momentum. The reason most people feel lost, distracted, and unfulfilled isn't because they lack potential, it's because they lack clear goals that wake them up with purpose every morning. When your goals are vague, your days become blurry. You drift, you react, you operate on autopilot. One day blends into the next, and before you know it, months have passed, but nothing has changed. The job still drains you. The habits are still weak. The dreams are still distant. Not because you don't want more, but because you've never sat down and said, "This is what I'm aiming for. This is what I'm building. This is the life I refuse to live without." The truth is, clarity creates fire, and if you don't have fire behind your actions, you'll never have the energy to stay consistent. You'll never have the emotional stamina to push through fatigue, rejection, or self-doubt. But when your goals are razor-sharp, when they're specific, personal, and emotionally charged, they fuel your focus. They make it easier to say no to distractions. They give you something bigger than comfort to live for. Most people set goals once a year and forget them within weeks. They write them down out of obligation, not obsession. But your goals should haunt you. They should live in your thoughts every morning and every night. You should be able to close your eyes and feel what it would be like to achieve them. And you should be able to say clearly what you're doing today to move closer. Not someday, not eventually, but now. Clear goals are not wishes. They are commitments. They're measurable, they're grounded in action, and they demand something from you every single day. You don't set them just to feel good. You set them to become someone new. And that transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens through focus, discipline, and tracking your progress with brutal honesty. You must understand something deep. If your goal doesn't scare you a little, it won't move you much. It needs to stretch you. It needs to be bigger than your excuses. It needs to call you into discomfort, because comfort is where dreams go to die. Growth doesn't live in the familiar, it lives in the work, the stretch, the daily resistance that slowly builds your strength and sharpens your character. Let's be real, you don't need another year of going through the motions. You need a year where every day matters, where you're not just surviving, but attacking life with intent. That begins the moment you write down goals that speak to your soul, not goals that impress others, not goals that are safe, but goals that make your heart race, because deep down, you know you were meant to reach them. And here's the secret. The goal isn't the prize, you are. Who you become in the process is the real reward. The goal is just the target that forces you to show up differently, to stop tolerating your own laziness, to quit blaming circumstances, to start thinking like a creator, not a complainer. That shift doesn't happen by talking about change. It happens by building a daily rhythm that is aligned with your vision. Daily goals are your personal GPS. They keep you grounded when life gets noisy. They keep you honest when you want to slack off. And they keep you driven when motivation runs out, because motivation always fades. But when your goals are clearly defined, you don't wait to feel ready. You act because the mission matters. So ask yourself, what am I building? Not in 10 years, not someday, but now. What matters to me so deeply that I'm willing to give up short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment? What do I want to wake up excited to pursue? And what do I need to cut out, mentally, emotionally, physically, to make room for that pursuit? You'll never hit a target you can't see. That's why clarity is non-negotiable. You need a vision that pulls you through the hard days. You need goals that simplify your life by helping you say no more often. When you know what you want, you don't chase everything. You conserve your energy. You become lethal in your execution. Don't set goals just to look productive. Set goals that challenge your limits, that make you rethink who you are, that demand discipline, because discipline is the only bridge between your current self and your future potential, and that discipline is only possible when you've chosen goals that you refuse to quit on. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start creating a vision that demands more from you. Write it down. Break it into daily actions. Track it relentlessly. And when doubt creeps in, because it will, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what's on the line if you don't follow through. The life you want doesn't just appear. It's built, one clear, focused day at a time. When you set goals with intention, you stop waking up with anxiety and start waking up with urgency. That urgency turns into purpose, and purpose creates consistency. Once you're consistent, you become dangerous, because most people never make it that far. Most people quit when progress is slow, but you won't, because your goals aren't built on hype. They're built on truth. They're built on hunger. Think about the life you're capable of living if you stopped settling, if you took your vision seriously, if you gave yourself permission to want something massive, and then backed that desire with daily action. There is a version of you that already lives that way. You just haven't fully committed to becoming them yet. Commit now. Not tomorrow, not next Monday. Right now, pull out your phone. Open a blank page and write 3 things. What do I want? Why does it matter? What am I doing today to move toward it? Be honest. Be raw. Don't edit yourself. Don't write what sounds nice. Write what burns inside you. That's your real goal. Then build your routine around that. Every day you check in. Did I move forward? Did I stay stagnant? Did I let fear win, or did I show up anyway? That level of accountability will change your life, because when you track your goals daily, they stay alive. They stop being dreams and start being data. And data doesn't lie. If your goals aren't working, change them. If they feel too small, make them bigger. If they feel vague, make them clearer. But whatever you do, don't stop setting them. Because the second you stop aiming, you start declining. You stop growing. You lose momentum. And momentum is everything. There will be days you don't feel like it. Days you feel like your effort isn't paying off. That's when most people give up. But if your goals are tied to your identity, if they're rooted in who you want to become, you'll keep going anyway. And that's when breakthroughs happen. Not when it's easy, but when it's hard, and you still choose to push. You deserve a life that reflects your potential, but that life isn't found. It's created. It's carved out through intention, repetition, and daily clarity. Don't just hope things will work out. Don't just wish for better. Design better. Decide what your life is going to look like, and then build it piece by piece. Set goals that make you proud. Set goals that scare you. Set goals that pull the greatness out of you, day after day. And when doubt whispers that you'll never make it, let your clarity answer louder. I know exactly where I'm going, and I'm not stopping until I get there. This is your moment to stop drifting and start dominating, to stop wandering through life and start building it with intention. Set your goals like your life depends on it, because it does. This is how you win. This is how you transform. And it all starts today. So take the first step. Write the vision. Own the mission. Build the plan. Then execute it daily. No matter what. Because clarity without action is just noise. And you weren't born for noise. You were born to move with purpose. Let this be the year you stop getting ready and start getting results. Don't just listen. Don't just get inspired. Move. Set your goals and live them. That's how greatness begins. Chapter 5. Develop resilience by embracing setbacks as lessons. You don't become unbreakable by avoiding pain. You become unbreakable by walking straight through it and refusing to let it define you. Most people fear failure because they think it's proof they're not good enough. But what if I told you that the people who win at life are the ones who've been knocked down the hardest and still chose to stand back up with fire in their eyes? Setbacks don't mean you're weak. Setbacks mean you're in the arena. You're trying. You're pushing. You're doing something that most people only talk about. And the truth is, no one builds resilience by being comfortable. Resilience is forged in the moments when everything feels like it's falling apart, and you still choose to show up. If you're feeling broken, if you're stuck in a dark chapter, if you're doubting whether you have what it takes, good. That means life is giving you the opportunity to grow into someone stronger, but only if you stop seeing setbacks as reasons to stop and start seeing them as lessons to rise from. Think about it. Every person you admire has scars you'll never see. They've been betrayed. They've failed. They've questioned themselves 1,000 times, but they kept going. They used the pain. They learned. And that's what separates those who rise from those who disappear into excuses. Your mind is either your prison or your weapon, and if you see every setback as a verdict on your worth, you'll stay stuck. But if you see it as feedback, as information, as a challenge to outgrow your current self, then you begin to gain power, real power. The kind of power that makes you unstoppable, because now you know that nothing can destroy you, not failure, not criticism, not rejection, because now you see that every wound can either be a weight or a weapon. You must stop waiting for life to be easy. It never will be. You have to stop hoping the storm passes before you start walking again. You have to learn to move through the storm, drenched, scared, uncertain, and still moving. That's how you build resilience, not by escaping pain, but by facing it with purpose. Every time you fall, you're given a choice: give up or get better. And most people, without realizing it, choose to give up in subtle ways. They stop trying. They lower their standards. They distract themselves with entertainment, comfort, or complaining, but not you. You're here because you know you're meant for more. You're here because you've felt that fire inside, the fire that says, "This is not where my story ends." The next level of your life is going to demand a stronger version of you. Not more talent, not more luck, more resilience. The kind of resilience that gets back up, even when no one is watching, even when no one believes in you, even when your mind tells you it's not worth it anymore. You have to start asking yourself the right questions. Not "why is this happening to me?" but "what is this trying to teach me?" Not "how do I avoid failure?" but "how do I become the person who thrives in the middle of failure?" That shift will change your life, because the moment you start using pain instead of running from it, you become dangerous to anything that tries to stop you. You see, most people don't lack ambition, they lack emotional durability. They crumble after one rejection. They give up after one mistake. They lose confidence the moment the path isn't perfect. But the path to greatness is never straight. It's messy. It's full of unexpected turns, hard lessons and quiet moments where you have to decide who you really are. And that's where your strength is built, in the quiet decisions no one sees. In the moments you choose to keep going, even when it feels like no one's clapping for you. Even when the world doesn't notice. Because those decisions are the bricks that build your unshakable foundation. You've got to be willing to look in the mirror and say, "This setback doesn't define me. This pain doesn't own me. I will rise from this, and I'll be better because of it." And you've got to say that not once but every day, because doubt doesn't disappear after one pep talk. You have to rewire your mind over and over until resilience becomes who you are. And the only way to do that is by treating every failure like a classroom. You don't leave the room just because the lesson is hard. You sit with it, you analyze it, you take notes, and then you apply what you've learned immediately. That's how winners operate. They don't take losses personally, they take them seriously. They don't see failure as rejection, they see it as redirection. Every time life knocks you down, it's asking you one question: are you committed, or are you just interested? And your answer determines everything. If you're only interested in success when it's easy, you'll never last. But if you're committed, truly committed, then nothing will be able to stop you. Not fear, not critics, not even your own doubt. Because here's what no one tells you: resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you choose every day. Especially on the days when quitting feels easier, especially when no one would blame you for walking away. That's when you decide who you really are. Don't let your failures go to waste. Don't numb the pain with distractions. Use it, study it, let it humble you, let it refine you, let it remind you of how bad you want it. Because the stronger your purpose, the lighter your excuses will feel. Your future is shaped more by how you respond to failure than by how you perform when things are going well. Everyone looks good when life is easy, but the ones who rise are the ones who grind through the hard days without losing their vision. They adapt, they evolve, they don't get bitter, they get better. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to doubt yourself. This is your time to rise, to reset, to reload. Let every setback fuel your comeback. Let every loss sharpen your focus. Let every rejection teach you where to aim next. Because once you've trained your mind to see pain as a signal to grow, nothing can break you. Nothing. Stop telling yourself you're stuck. You're not stuck. You're being shaped. The discomfort you're feeling is the pressure of transformation. The friction you're facing is the grind of greatness. And if you keep showing up, if you keep learning, if you keep refusing to quit, you will not be denied. So today, right now, I challenge you to embrace your struggle, not tolerate it, not avoid it. Embrace it, own it, use it. Let it fuel your discipline. Let it harden your mindset. Let it become the proof that you are not the same person you were yesterday. Because if you can learn to rise when it hurts, you'll never be afraid of falling again. And that kind of fearlessness is rare. That kind of mental toughness is what turns ordinary people into legends. You've got what it takes. You've always had it. But now it's time to prove it. Not to the world, but to yourself. Prove that you can stay the course when the storm hits. Prove that your vision is stronger than your pain. Prove that resilience isn't just a word, it's how you live. Take your pain, take your losses, take your setbacks, and turn them into fuel. Build a mindset so strong that adversity becomes your advantage. Become the person who can't be broken, because you've already rebuilt yourself from rock bottom. That's what it means to be resilient. That's what it means to rise. So don't wait for life to get easier. Get tougher. Don't hope for fewer problems. Become more powerful. Let this be your turning point. The day you decided that failure was not your enemy, but your training ground. And when you look back years from now, you'll know that this moment, this pain, this challenge, it didn't break you. It built you. Let's go. Your comeback starts now. Chapter 6. Practice self-discipline to strengthen your inner power. If you don't learn to control yourself, life will control you, and it won't ask for your permission before it drags you into mediocrity. This is the brutal truth. No one wants to say out loud. The gap between who you are and who you could be is filled with discipline, not luck, not motivation, not even talent. Just raw, unshakable self-discipline, the kind that doesn't wait to feel ready, the kind that doesn't ask for applause, the kind that gets up and executes even when everything in you wants to take the day off. Self-discipline is not punishment, it's power, real power. The power to decide who you become. Because the moment you stop living by impulse and start living by intention, you change the direction of your entire life. Think about it. How many times have you known what you needed to do, but didn't do it? How many mornings have you hit snooze, knowing it was killing your momentum? How many times have you traded short-term comfort for long-term regret? That's the cost of a life without discipline. It's not just wasted time, it's wasted potential, wasted identity, wasted years you'll never get back. But here's the good news. You don't need to be perfect to take control. You just need to get brutally honest with yourself. You need to confront your habits, your excuses, your laziness, not with shame, but with responsibility. Because no one's coming to save you. And that's not bad news. It's the most empowering truth there is. It means the power has always been in your hands. You just have to stop giving it away. The world is filled with people who had potential but no discipline, who had dreams but never built the daily structure to turn them into reality. And every day you delay your discipline, you're volunteering to join them. Every excuse pushes your dreams further into the distance. Discipline doesn't mean you don't feel like quitting. It means you push through those feelings. It means you recognize that your emotions are temporary, but your decisions create your destiny. And when you build the ability to act regardless of how you feel, you become dangerous, because now your actions are guided by purpose, not impulse. Look at the people who achieve what others say is impossible. Look at the ones who transform their lives from chaos to clarity. They're not superhuman. They just made a decision that their future mattered more than their distractions, that their vision mattered more than their comfort, that their mission mattered more than their mood. You want to know the secret to long-term success. It's boring, it's consistent, it's unglamorous. It's waking up when you don't want to. It's doing the reps when no one is watching. It's saying no to things that give you a quick hit of pleasure and yes to things that build long-term power. That's how you take control of your life. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you add another brick to your foundation. And over time, you build something unshakable, something that doesn't collapse the moment pressure hits. Because discipline builds more than habits. It builds character. It builds the kind of person who doesn't flinch under stress. The kind of person who can delay gratification, face discomfort, and still stay on course. Most people give up not because they're incapable, but because they're undisciplined. They haven't trained their minds to sit with discomfort. They haven't trained their bodies to obey their vision. And that's the difference between the winners and the rest. Winners don't just want it, they're willing to suffer for it. They're willing to delay what feels good now for what builds greatness later. So ask yourself, what's one thing you keep putting off that you know would change your life? What's one habit you've avoided because it's hard, even though you know it's exactly what you need? That's your starting point. That's where you begin to rebuild your inner strength. You're not weak because you struggle with discipline. You're just untrained. But like any muscle, it grows with resistance. The more you resist the urge to procrastinate, the more you fight the pull of comfort, the stronger you get. Not just mentally, but spiritually. Because now you're not just living, you're leading yourself. Your discipline becomes your quiet confidence. It becomes the invisible force that separates you from the crowd. When others quit, you stay steady. When others complain, you stay committed. And eventually that discipline compounds. It shows in your body. It echoes in your voice. It radiates from your energy. People start to notice, even if you never talk about it, because discipline doesn't need to announce itself. It's felt. But let's be honest. Discipline hurts in the beginning. It hurts to wake up early. It hurts to push past your limits. It hurts to say no to the things you've used as emotional crutches for years. But what hurts more is regret. What hurts more is waking up one day, knowing you traded your potential for convenience. So make the pain count. Don't waste it. Let it mold you. Let it burn away the parts of you that are weak, distracted, and unfocused. Let it reveal the version of you that's been buried under excuses. You have to understand. Every time you do something hard, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your limitations. Every hard choice is a vote for your future. And over time, those votes build momentum. They build trust in yourself. And that's where true inner power comes from, trusting that you can handle whatever life throws at you because you've trained for it. Discipline makes your life simpler. Not easier, but simpler. Because once you've decided what matters, the rest becomes noise. You stop negotiating with laziness. You stop debating your next move. You stop giving your energy to things that drain your focus. That kind of clarity is rare, and it's earned. And here's something most people never realize. Discipline doesn't take away your freedom. It gives you freedom. Freedom from chaos. Freedom from regret. Freedom from the cycle of starting over again and again. When you build discipline, you build stability. You build consistency. And with consistency, you become unstoppable. So stop waiting to feel ready. You won't. Start acting like the person you want to become. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Right now. Show yourself what's possible when you stop giving in to your lesser self. No one's going to hand you greatness. No one's going to build your dream for you. It's your job to show up, to grind, to execute. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because that's when it matters most. That's when your character is formed. You already know what needs to be done. The gap is in your consistency. The gap is in your follow-through. The gap is in your discipline. Close that gap, and you'll feel the power return. You'll feel your confidence rebuild. And once that happens, there's no going back. You'll realize that the disciplined version of you, the one who takes action, who doesn't make excuses, who holds the line even when no one's watching, that version of you is your real identity. Everything else was just noise. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to stop being reactive and start being relentless. To stop waiting for life to give you a break and start becoming the kind of person who doesn't need one. You have everything you need inside you. You just need to activate it with discipline, with commitment, with relentless self-respect. Don't settle for comfort. It's a trap. Choose growth. Choose grit. Choose the hard path. Because that's where your future lives. That's where the power is. And if you keep showing up, keep doing the hard things, keep choosing discipline even when it's inconvenient, you will rise. Now it's your turn. Shut the door on excuses. Get quiet. Get focused. Get disciplined. Start building your life, one disciplined action at a time. Because once you taste the strength that comes from discipline, you'll never want to go back to who you were before. Now go. Do what needs to be done. Not for applause, not for attention, but because you owe it to yourself to live as the strongest version of who you really are. Chapter 7. Prioritize your health to fuel lasting energy. If your body crashes, your dreams go with it. And no amount of ambition can carry a mind that's trapped in a weak, exhausted shell. You can chase goals. You can grind for success. You can outwork your competition. But if you're constantly running on fumes, sooner or later, your engine will blow. That's not motivation. That's physics. A body neglected is a time bomb, and one day it will remind you who's really in charge. Most people don't fail because they lack vision. They fail because they lack energy. And energy isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Every bite you take, every hour of sleep you skip, every workout you avoid, it's either giving you life or draining it from you. There's no middle ground. If you don't prioritize your health, you are subconsciously deciding to limit your potential. Because a tired mind can't think clearly, a restless body can't stay focused, and a fatigued soul can't carry the weight of purpose for very long. You can fake it for a while. You can mask the burnout with caffeine, adrenaline, or distraction, but eventually the truth surfaces, and it usually shows up in the form of breakdowns, diseases, anxiety, and emotional crashes you can't shake off. Now ask yourself, how many times have you sacrificed your sleep to finish a task that could have waited? How often do you choose convenience food over real fuel because it's easier in the moment? How long have you been ignoring the aches in your body, pretending they'll disappear on their own? We live in a world that glorifies the hustle, but forgets to mention the hospital beds filled with people who ignored their limits. We're told to grind 24/7, but never told the truth. Without health, there is no grind. There is no wealth. There is no impact. There is only pain. Your body is your power source, and when you treat it with care, it responds with strength. It rewards you with clarity, stamina, and resilience, but it's not going to wait forever. Keep disrespecting it, and it will remind you, sometimes subtly, sometimes violently, that no dream is more important than your health. Think about the last time you felt unstoppable. What did that feel like? Energy rushing through you, mind sharp, body light, focus like a laser. That wasn't a coincidence. That was a result of balance, of sleep, of movement, of nutrition. That was your body showing you its full potential when you respect it. But somewhere along the way, you stopped listening. You started seeing rest as weakness. You started skipping meals or eating trash because time was short. You started living in a body you barely recognize, one that doesn't support your ambition, but instead fights against it. That's not who you are, and it's not who you have to be. The greatest act of self-respect is honoring your health, not just when it's convenient, but especially when life gets chaotic. That's when it matters most. Because when you're under pressure, the weak habits show, but so do the strong ones. And if you've built a lifestyle that prioritizes wellness, that strength will carry you through any storm. No one's saying you need to become a fitness model. This isn't about six-packs or social media flexing. It's about having the physical power to live the life you're meant to live. It's about waking up with fire instead of fatigue. It's about being able to show up fully for your work, your family, your dreams, because your body isn't holding you back anymore. You can't give what you don't have. You can't serve others if you're always empty. That energy you need to stay consistent, to stay creative, to stay motivated, it doesn't come from outside. It comes from the inside. From your cells, from your oxygen, from your gut, your heart, your immune system. This is biology, not just mindset. There's nothing strong about ignoring your body's signals. There's nothing admirable about chronic exhaustion. What's admirable is choosing discipline in how you eat, how you move, how you rest, even when no one's watching. That's real strength. That's mastery. And here's the truth that hits hardest: your future self is depending on you. The version of you 10 years from now is begging you right now to take care of this body. Because once it breaks, you don't just lose health, you lose time, you lose freedom, you lose momentum. Start small if you have to. Drink water like it matters, because it does. Walk every day like your mind depends on it, because it does. Eat real food. Sleep like your success is connected to it, because it is. And train your body not just to look good, but to handle the weight of your ambition. And if you think you're too busy to take care of your health, understand this: you're not too busy, you're just not yet desperate enough to value it. Don't wait until illness forces you to slow down. Don't wait for a breakdown to remember how precious your energy is. Build your health while you still have a choice. You weren't born to feel tired all the time. You weren't built to survive off stimulants and junk food. That sluggishness you feel, that brain fog, that irritability, that's not who you are. That's your body screaming for help. And the longer you ignore it, the louder it will scream. But the moment you take ownership, everything changes. Your body starts to heal. Your mind starts to clear. Your spirit starts to lift. Suddenly you're not dragging yourself through the day anymore. You're leading it. That's the difference between surviving and thriving, between existing and dominating. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Show your body that you're serious, and it will return the favor. It will carry you. It will support you. It will unlock energy you forgot was possible. It will become your secret weapon in every area of life. No one's going to do this for you. No one's going to hand you vitality. You have to earn it. With daily decisions, with conscious choices, with a standard that says, I refuse to live weak, foggy, and fatigued. That's how winners live. Not just strong in the mind, but strong in the body. Because they know, if your body doesn't back your ambition becomes a burden. This is the time to change. Not tomorrow. Not after your next burnout. Now, create a life where your energy is so high, people feel it when you walk into a room. Create a standard where your health is non-negotiable. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you respect yourself too much to live weak. You want to build a legacy. You want to reach your potential. Then take care of the only vehicle that can get you there. Your health is your foundation. Every great thing you build rests on it. So protect it, prioritize it, fuel it. And when you do, when you start treating your health as sacred, everything changes. Your focus sharpens, your confidence grows, your resilience skyrockets. And suddenly life doesn't feel like a battle anymore. It feels like a mission you're ready to dominate. So here's your moment. Step up. Make a decision. Not just to be healthy, but to be powerful. Because when your body is strong, your mind is unstoppable. And when your energy is high, nothing can hold you back. Start today. Hydrate. Move. Eat with intention. Rest with purpose. Treat your body like the temple it is, not for vanity, not for likes, but because your future depends on it. Your greatness depends on it. The next level of your life requires a new level of energy, and that energy is waiting inside of you. Unlock it, fuel it, live it, and never again let your health be the reason you fall short of who you were meant to become. Chapter 8. Manage time wisely to maximize every single day. If you waste today, you're silently agreeing to live the same exact life a year from now, and that's the most dangerous decision you'll ever make without even realizing it. Time is the only currency that you can never earn back. You can lose money and recover. You can lose relationships and rebuild. But when time is gone, it's gone forever. The minutes you scroll, the hours you procrastinate, the days you drift through without intention, they don't come with a warning label, but they cost you everything. Every second you waste is a second you'll never get again. And when you finally realize how precious your time is, you'll start treating it like your most guarded asset, not your most disposable resource. The truth is, most people are not running out of time, they're just not using it wisely. They confuse movement with progress. They stay busy but never productive. They live by distractions instead of discipline, and then they wonder why years pass and nothing changes. Why their goals stay dreams, why their potential feels distant and unreachable. But it's not a mystery, it's just mismanagement. Time doesn't disappear. You trade it. For comfort, for noise, for approval, for mindless entertainment that numbs the guilt of knowing you're capable of more. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. You say you need to feel ready. But deep down you know this truth. You're not waiting. You're hesitating. And every hesitation is a theft, a thief of your own greatness. Look back on the last 24 hours. How much of it was spent with intention? How much of it was used to build, grow, learn, or become? And how much of it was just handed over to habits you never questioned, routines you never designed, and distractions you never controlled? This isn't about guilt. This is about awareness. Because if you don't take control of your time, the world will do it for you, and the world doesn't care about your potential. It only cares about your attention. You have 24 hours. So does every billionaire, every athlete, every innovator, every groundbreaker who changed the world. The difference isn't the amount of time. It's the value they place on it. They don't see time as something to fill. They see it as something to leverage. Every hour is a tool. Every minute is a move. And every decision is either getting them closer to what matters or dragging them further away. So ask yourself, what are you building with your time? Is your calendar filled with urgency or meaning? Are your days designed for progress or just survival? Because your schedule is not just a list, it's a reflection of your priorities. If it's filled with randomness, then your future will be random too. But if it's aligned with your vision, your results will mirror that intention. Here's what they don't teach you. Time isn't something you manage. It's something you master. And mastery means clarity. It means you don't start your day wondering what to do. You already know. You've decided ahead of time what matters most. You've cut the noise. You've chosen structure over chaos. That's what high performers do. They don't live reactive lives. They create on purpose. They show up to the day with a plan, and they execute it with discipline, not just when it feels good, but especially when it doesn't. Discipline is the gateway to freedom. Most people think freedom is doing what you want when you want, but that leads to mediocrity. Real freedom is earned by doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Because that's what protects your future. That's what builds momentum. That's what separates those who live by design from those who live by default. And here's something most people never admit. You don't need more time, you need better boundaries. The people who complain about not having enough time often give it away the easiest. They say yes to everything. They let others control their focus. They don't protect their mornings. They don't set hard limits on how much time they'll spend on distractions. They live like time is infinite, and then panic when life starts slipping through their fingers. If you want to maximize every day, you have to get ruthless about what you say no to. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every request deserves your time. Not every opportunity is aligned with your mission. You have to be brave enough to disappoint others if it means honoring your future. You have to stop living by reaction and start living by design. And that means creating systems. Not just goals, but routines that support those goals. Not just wishes, but workflows that make those wishes inevitable. You want to write a book? Block time for writing. You want to get fit? Schedule your training and treat it like a non-negotiable appointment. You want to launch a business? Guard your creative hours like gold. Because the more structure you have, the more freedom you gain. It also means getting honest about your time leaks. What apps eat your focus? What conversations drain your energy? What habits steal your momentum? Identify them, track them, eliminate them. You'll be shocked at how much time you actually have when you stop handing it over to things that don't matter. And stop romanticizing chaos. Busyness is not a badge of honor. Being overwhelmed doesn't make you important. In fact, it's usually a sign of poor systems, weak boundaries, and unclear priorities. Real power comes from clarity, from knowing exactly what you need to do, when you need to do it, and why it matters. That's what creates momentum. That's what makes you dangerous. And remember, how you spend your time is how you spend your life. If you spend your days reacting to everyone else's demands, your life will belong to everyone but you. But if you claim your time with purpose, your life becomes a reflection of intention, not accident. You don't get today again. This moment, it's already fading. You can't rewind, but you can choose. You can choose to treat your time like it matters. You can choose to stop giving away your most precious resource to things that don't feed your purpose. You can choose to show up with focus, with discipline, with fire, and build a life that reflects that power. People will always ask for your time. The world will always offer distractions. But your job is to say, this matters more. Your dreams matter more. Your mission matters more. Your growth, your focus, your evolution, they matter more. Don't let small things steal the big life you're capable of living. The best time to take control was yesterday. The second best is right now. So take out your calendar. Rebuild it from scratch. Start with what matters. Create space for what fuels you. Eliminate what weakens you. Live with intention. Work with precision. Rest with purpose. Every hour counts. Every decision shapes you. And no, it's not always going to feel easy. There will be temptations, interruptions, and days where your energy dips. But that's where your strength is built. Not in the perfect days, but in the disciplined ones. Not when you're motivated, but when you choose to act without it. Because consistency compounds. Every focused hour adds up. Every productive day stacks. Every aligned decision brings you closer to the life you've imagined. Time isn't your enemy. It's your amplifier. Use it wisely, and it will multiply everything you value. So what do you want? A life of scattered memories, missed chances, and what-ifs? Or a life of deep focus, bold action, and unstoppable momentum? The answer isn't in your wishes. It's in your calendar. It's in your choices. It's in the minutes after this video ends. You can scroll, or you can plan. You can delay, or you can act. You can drift through another day, or you can make this day the one that changes everything. Because once you master your time, you master your life. And when you do that, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not fatigue, just forward, always forward. Now go, block the time, cut the noise, lock in your purpose. The clock is ticking, and this is your moment. Chapter 9. Focus on what matters most and eliminate distractions. If you keep chasing every shiny thing that crosses your path, you'll end up lost, exhausted, and further from your dreams than when you started. Every day, your mind is pulled in countless directions, bombarded by notifications, requests, endless options and distractions, disguised as opportunities. Your attention is the battlefield where your future is won or lost. The question is not how to do more, but how to do what truly matters, because your time and energy are finite, and scattering them weakens your impact. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water while it's full of holes. No matter how much you pour, the water slips away. That's what happens when your focus leaks into distractions. You think you're making progress, but the essence of your work, your most important priorities, gets watered down, lost, or ignored. It's painful to realize you're spinning wheels on things that don't move your life forward. It's frustrating to feel busy yet empty, productive but shallow. This happens because distraction is designed to feel urgent and important, but it's a wolf in sheep's clothing, stealing your energy and stealing your time. What matters most rarely screams for attention. It whispers quietly, demanding you listen with intention and choose carefully. It's your purpose, your mission, your highest priorities, the things that build your legacy and define your value. When you focus on these, everything else falls into perspective or fades away. Distractions, on the other hand, are loud, flashy, and easy. They promise quick rewards, instant gratification, and relief from discomfort. But that relief is temporary. The cost is delayed dreams and wasted potential. The more you indulge distractions, the deeper you sink into a life of unfinished projects and unrealized goals. To live deliberately, you must develop the courage to cut out what doesn't serve you. This is not just a mental exercise, it's a lifestyle overhaul. It means setting clear boundaries, protecting your mind from unnecessary noise, and saying no, often, even when it feels uncomfortable. Discipline starts with awareness. Most people don't realize how much time they lose to distractions because they never track it. If you examined your days with brutal honesty, you'd be shocked at how many hours slip away on trivial things, social media scrolling, unimportant emails, gossip, or idle daydreaming. That's time stolen from your future. It's essential to identify your personal distraction triggers. What pulls you off track? Is it your phone buzzing with notifications? Is it clutter on your desk? Is it people who drain your energy with drama or negativity? When you recognize these triggers, you can build walls around them or remove them entirely. Focus is not about forcing yourself to grind endlessly. It's about creating conditions that allow your mind to concentrate deeply on what matters. That means cultivating an environment that supports flow, quiet spaces, clear goals, and routines that prime your brain for sustained attention. The power of a single focused hour far outweighs 8 hours of fragmented work. When you concentrate fully on a task, your brain enters a state where creativity, problem-solving, and productivity skyrocket. Distractions break this state repeatedly, making you lose time and mental energy to reorient yourself. If you want to eliminate distractions, you must also redefine your relationship with discomfort. Focus demands resisting the urge for constant stimulation. It means accepting boredom as a signal that you're on the right track. This mental toughness grows over time but starts with small steps, like turning off notifications, scheduling deep work blocks, or meditating to train your mind. Another hidden truth is that focus requires clarity on what matters most. If your priorities are fuzzy, your attention will scatter like leaves in the wind. Get brutally honest about what will truly move your life forward and ruthlessly cut everything else out. This clarity fuels motivation because every action feels meaningful and aligned. The temptation to multitask is one of the biggest enemies of focus. Despite what you might believe, the brain is not designed to handle multiple complex tasks simultaneously. What feels like multitasking is actually rapid task switching, a cognitive tax that drains your energy and reduces the quality of your work. Embrace single tasking. Immerse fully in one thing before moving to the next. It's also crucial to protect your time like it's the most valuable asset, because it is. Set non-negotiable blocks for your most important work and guard those hours fiercely. When you treat your time as sacred, others learn to respect it too. This builds confidence and gives you control over your day. Focus on what matters most also means focusing on the right things, the few actions that produce the biggest results. The Pareto principle applies to your life. 20% of your efforts yield 80% of your outcomes. Identify the 20% and invest deeply there. This shifts you from busy work to meaningful work and accelerates your progress exponentially. Learn to create daily rituals that funnel your energy toward priorities. Rituals remove decision fatigue by making important actions automatic. Whether it's morning journaling, planning your day, or a pre-work ritual, these habits create momentum that propels you forward. Distractions often sneak in disguised as urgent matters. Cultivate skepticism about what truly demands your attention now versus what can wait. Practice triaging tasks by asking, will this move me closer to my goal? Is this the best use of my time? If not, it's okay to defer, delegate, or delete. Social media is a particularly insidious distraction. It hooks your brain with dopamine hits designed to keep you scrolling endlessly. If you want to reclaim focus, you must set strict boundaries here. Use apps that limit your usage, schedule specific times to check platforms, or take regular breaks from them altogether. Your environment is your silent partner in focus. A cluttered space breeds a cluttered mind. Organize your workspace to eliminate visual distractions. Keep only the tools and resources you need for the task at hand. This reduces cognitive overload and creates a calm mental atmosphere. You can't eliminate all distractions, but you can control your response to them. When interruptions happen, train yourself to pause, breathe, and decide consciously whether to engage or return to your focus. This builds mental resilience and keeps you on track even in chaotic environments. It's also essential to cultivate patience. Results from deep focus take time to show. In a world obsessed with instant gratification, waiting for your efforts to compound is a radical act of faith in yourself and your process. By focusing on what matters most, you begin to see how powerful your life can become. You step out of overwhelm and into mastery. You trade frantic busyness for calm control. You shift from reacting to creating. You build a future not by accident but by design. You're not just learning a productivity hack. You're reshaping how your mind works, how your energy flows, and how your time is spent. This transformation reverberates into every area of your life: relationships, health, work, and personal growth. Imagine the confidence that comes from knowing exactly where to put your attention. The peace that arises when distractions no longer steal your joy. The satisfaction of moving steadily toward your highest goals. This is the power of focus. Distraction will always try to pull you back, but your commitment to what matters most becomes your anchor. When you fall, you get up quicker. When you waver, you return stronger. When you face resistance, you push harder. Focus makes you unshakable. Don't wait for the perfect conditions or the right motivation. Start small. Remove one distraction today. Decide to do one thing that moves your needle. Protect 1 hour of your time for deep work. Each step builds momentum and reshapes your brain for focus. This journey isn't easy because it requires sacrifice. But what you gain, clarity, energy, progress, freedom, far outweighs what you give up. You trade short-term pleasure for long-term success. And that trade is the essence of maturity and mastery. Your life is the sum of what you focus on. Choose wisely. Eliminate what dilutes your power. Concentrate fiercely on what matters most. This is the foundation of achievement, fulfillment, and legacy. Now is your moment to reclaim your attention, to build a fortress around your focus, to say no to distractions and yes to your future. Step into the power of deliberate attention and watch your world transform. The path to greatness is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters, without compromise. Start today, protect your focus, and unlock your true potential. Chapter 10. Strengthen your confidence by taking consistent action. You will never feel truly confident until you stop waiting to feel ready and start doing what you said you would do. That's the truth most people don't want to face. Confidence isn't born from talking about your goals, planning them endlessly, or reading about how to achieve them. It's built brick by brick through consistent action, through showing up when it's hard, through doing the work when no one is watching, through choosing discipline over doubt again and again. You want to feel unshakable? You want to walk into a room and not shrink? You want to trust yourself when life throws chaos your way? Then you must build that version of you with daily decisions. Confidence is not a gift. It's not luck. It's a reward you earn by proving to yourself, over time, that you are reliable, that you are capable, that you are relentless. The people who radiate confidence didn't wake up with it. They've failed, they've doubted, they've been scared out of their minds. But they acted anyway, and every time they did, their belief in themselves got stronger. Not because they were perfect, but because they refused to stay stuck. If you're waiting for the right mood, the perfect plan, or someone to push you, you'll be waiting forever. Life doesn't give you confidence on credit. It gives it to those who pay in sweat, time, and perseverance. You have to become the kind of person who does the hard thing when it's uncomfortable. That's how trust in yourself begins to form. That's how doubt begins to die. Look around. How many people do you know who talk about change but never move? How many set goals every new year and never take them seriously? How many live in their head, dreaming of the life they want while doing nothing in reality to create it? Don't be like them. You don't need more talk, you need more movement. You don't need permission, you need to act. And you don't have to do something massive to build confidence. What matters is the consistency. It's the compounding effect of small, courageous actions that nobody claps for but you do anyway. Waking up early when your bed calls you back. Finishing a workout when your body says stop. Speaking up when your voice shakes. Finishing that task even though you're tired. These are the victories that no one sees, but they are the ones that change you. Every time you do what you said you'd do, your brain records it. It stores it as proof. I can trust myself. And that proof builds self-respect. That respect builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Confidence is not the absence of fear, it's the habit of action in the face of it. You don't become confident by avoiding challenges, you become confident by surviving them. You become confident by facing resistance and refusing to break. By getting knocked down and rising stronger. Each time you act, you stack evidence against your insecurities. That evidence silences the inner critic, not overnight, but gradually, undeniably. You might be thinking, but I've failed so many times. Good, that means you tried. That means you stepped into the arena while others stayed on the sidelines. Failure doesn't destroy confidence, giving up does. Failure can strengthen you, if you're willing to learn from it. If you're willing to get back up with more wisdom and more fire. If you've ever wondered why some people succeed even when they aren't the smartest or most talented, it's because they act. They don't wait, they don't drown in doubt. They take steps, over and over again. And those steps become skills. Those skills become progress. That progress becomes identity. Until they no longer hope to be confident, they simply are. You want to change your identity, change your habits. Identity isn't created in your head, it's shaped by your actions. When you repeatedly do hard things, you begin to see yourself as someone who's capable. That identity fuels even greater actions. It's a feedback loop of strength. Think back to the moments in your life when you felt most confident. I guarantee you weren't just sitting around doing nothing, you were in motion. You were doing the things you once doubted you could do. You were in alignment. And that alignment creates power. The truth is, we are all terrified of being exposed, of not being good enough. But you know what silences that fear? Results, proof, reps, the work. That's it. Every person you admire who moves with conviction has walked through fire. And they've walked through it enough times that the heat doesn't scare them anymore. Don't wait for someone to motivate you. Motivation is fleeting. If you rely on it, you'll be inconsistent forever. What you need is structure, a system, a commitment to show up daily regardless of how you feel. That's how consistency is built, and that consistency becomes your foundation. Start by deciding what matters. What action, if repeated daily, would move your life in the right direction? Focus there. Block out the rest. Eliminate the mental clutter. Don't overwhelm yourself with 100 goals. Master a few key actions, then build from there. Confidence comes from clarity, and clarity comes from cutting away the noise. You'll never feel like doing the thing at first. That's just how the mind works. It resists discomfort. It craves ease. But every time you overcome that resistance, you become stronger. Action rewires the brain. It teaches you that fear is not a stop sign. It's a green light for growth. And don't make the mistake of measuring confidence by comparison. You will always lose if you define your worth through others' highlight reels. Confidence is not about being better than others. It's about being better than your past self. If you're improving, even slowly, you are winning. There will be days when progress feels invisible. Days when you doubt if it's working. That's normal. What matters is you stay the course. Keep showing up. Because confidence isn't loud at first. It grows quietly, and then all at once. One day you wake up and realize you're no longer who you used to be. People will notice it. They'll ask what changed, and you'll know you didn't wait. You didn't quit. You moved. You acted. That's the difference. That's what separates the ones who build real confidence from those who only talk about it. It's not about pretending. It's not about faking it. It's about becoming it. And you do that by being consistent even when it's inconvenient. Even when it's boring. Even when nobody notices. Especially then, you'll never regret the work you do for yourself. You'll never look back and wish you hadn't tried. The only regret is staying still when you could have moved. So move. Build your confidence through motion, through discipline, through repetition. Every time you act, you silence the voice that says you can't. Every time you follow through, you weaken the doubts that held you back. And over time, your actions build a version of you that others respect. But more importantly, a version of you that you respect. That's the ultimate goal. Not applause, not validation, but self-respect. The kind that can't be shaken because it's been earned through fire, through hard work, through consistency. If you want to feel powerful, act powerfully. If you want to feel confident, keep your promises to yourself. If you want to change your life, start now. Don't wait until you feel like it. Don't wait until it's easy. Take the step, then another, and another. Because the person you admire, the one you want to become, they're not out of reach. They're built through thousands of small choices made in the shadows, in the quiet hours, in the lonely moments. That's where confidence is born. You have everything you need to begin. The only thing missing is action. So don't overthink it. Don't second guess it. Just move. And let that movement become your power. You are not here to be average. You are not here to play small. You are here to rise, to lead, to own your path with certainty and strength. Start proving it. Start earning it. Every single day, take one step today that your future self will thank you for. Just one, and then do it again tomorrow. That's how confidence is built, not by magic, not by waiting, but by action. Steady, honest, consistent action. You want to feel unstoppable, then stop stopping. Keep moving forward. Keep showing up. And watch the world shift around you. Because you finally decided to believe in yourself, not through words, but through action. Your future is waiting, and it's only unlocked by the choices you make right now. So go, move, build, become. Chapter 11. Learn continuously to expand your skills and mindset. If you don't keep learning, you start dying, not just mentally but emotionally, creatively and spiritually. Right now, while you're standing still, someone else is moving ahead. Someone else is gaining knowledge. Someone else is sharpening their mindset. Someone else is becoming the person you keep saying you want to become, and the only difference is they've committed to learning daily while you're still thinking about when to begin. That's the brutal reality. Growth doesn't wait. Success doesn't pause for your hesitation. The world rewards those who stretch their minds beyond their comfort zone and take full responsibility for expanding their skills every single day. There is no secret formula to becoming extraordinary. It's about building a mind that is always evolving. A mind that seeks challenge instead of avoiding it. A mind that doesn't get lazy or entitled. A mind that feeds itself, questions itself, and rebuilds itself constantly. If you're not doing that, you're falling behind. Because in this world, stagnation is regression. If you're not learning, you're decaying. If you're not growing, you're becoming obsolete. That might sound harsh, but you need to hear it. You need to stop making excuses and start feeding your mind with everything it needs to become sharp, focused, and unbeatable. Think about it. Every struggle you face, every setback, every delay in your life, there's a skill you haven't mastered yet that could solve it. You're not stuck because you're cursed. You're stuck because your current thinking can't unlock the next level. That's why learning is everything. It's not a hobby. It's not something you squeeze in when you feel like it. It is your key to escape mediocrity. It is the bridge between your potential and your reality. The question is, are you willing to put in the work to cross that bridge? No one's coming to save you. No one's going to download knowledge into your brain while you sleep. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to read the book you've been avoiding. You're going to have to study the craft you say you love. You're going to have to dig deep and confront the painful truth that your growth is your responsibility. And if you don't take it seriously, life will keep punching you in the face until you do. Every single successful person you admire became who they are because they built a habit of learning. They studied when they were tired. They practiced when they were uncertain. They listened more than they spoke. They failed, they learned, and they tried again. The only thing separating them from you is that they kept feeding their mind with useful knowledge and didn't wait for someone else to push them to do it. Let's get brutally honest. How much time do you waste each day on things that make you dumber? Mindless scrolling, empty conversations, shallow entertainment. And then you say you don't have time to learn. You have time. You're just not using it right. And every hour you waste is an hour your future self is going to wish you invested differently. You don't need a degree to grow. You don't need a teacher to give you permission. You need hunger. Hunger to know more, to do better, to become wiser. You can learn from anything: a podcast on your commute, a book before bed, a conversation with someone who's been where you want to go. The resources are everywhere. The question is, are you disciplined enough to use them? And learning isn't just about consuming, it's about applying. It's about taking what you absorb and turning it into action. Knowledge without execution is just noise. You don't become powerful by knowing facts. You become powerful by using that knowledge to solve problems, to make smarter decisions, to build something that outlives you. Stop chasing shortcuts. Stop waiting for easy. Stop assuming that one course or video is going to change your life. It won't. What changes your life is a relentless daily commitment to learning and growing until you become someone who can no longer be denied. The most dangerous person in any room is the one who never stops learning. That person is hard to beat because they keep adapting, they keep expanding. They don't fear change, they welcome it. They don't get defensive when challenged, they get curious. They don't cling to their ego, they trade it for wisdom, and that's the difference. Average people think they know enough. Exceptional people know there's always more to understand. Average people think growth is optional. High performers know it's survival. You have to choose. Are you going to keep living in yesterday's knowledge, or are you going to equip yourself for tomorrow's opportunities? Because here's the truth. Your current mindset has a ceiling. Your current skill set has limitations. You can only go so far with what you currently know. At some point, you have to decide that you're done being limited. You're done being overwhelmed. You're done being stuck. And the only way out is through learning, through upgrading your beliefs, through mastering your emotions, through expanding your capacity to think critically, act decisively, and lead powerfully. You've got to ask yourself, what would happen if I truly committed to learning every single day for the next year? Who would I become? What kind of confidence would I carry? What kind of results would I produce? What kind of legacy would I begin to build? The answer is simple. You would become unstoppable. Not because you became perfect, but because you became prepared. You'd walk into challenges with clarity. You'd solve problems without panic. You'd grow through adversity instead of crumbling under it. That's what learning gives you, not just more knowledge but more power. Power over your own thoughts, power over your actions, power over your outcomes. And when you have that, you stop fearing the future. You start shaping it. So stop waiting for the right time. It's now. Now is the time to study your weaknesses and turn them into strengths. Now is the time to ask better questions and seek real answers. Now is the time to challenge what you believe, because your beliefs are either building your future or burying it. And don't get discouraged if growth feels slow. That's normal. You don't become wise overnight. You don't become skilled in a week. But every day you commit to learning, you're stretching your mind further than most people ever will. Every lesson you absorb, every mistake you learn from, every perspective you gain, it's all shaping you into the person you were meant to be. Let others waste their time chasing comfort. You chase growth. Let others talk about potential. You focus on progress. Let others fear change. You embrace it because you know that learning is the weapon that separates winners from watchers. This is not a game. Your life, your dreams, your impact, it all depends on how seriously you take your own evolution. Don't hand that responsibility to anyone else. Own it. Guard it. Make it your obsession. Start today. Start with something small, but start. Pick up a book. Take notes on a podcast. Reflect on a failure, and study what it taught you. Ask for feedback and actually listen to it. Every step you take matters. Every time you stretch your mind, you're rewiring your future. Your goals are waiting for the upgraded version of you. So stop pretending that the old you will somehow create a new life. That's not how it works. The future is built by learners, by warriors of wisdom, by people who never settle. And here's the final truth. You don't have to do this for anyone else. Do it for yourself. Do it because your dreams matter. Do it because you refuse to be average. Do it because you're hungry for more than what this world hands out to people who stay asleep. Learn aggressively, grow consistently, build relentlessly, and become the kind of person who looks back a year from now and doesn't recognize who they used to be. Not because they got lucky, but because they got educated, disciplined, and unstoppable. Now go. Study something that challenges you. Apply something that sharpens you. And never stop building the mind that will lead you to everything you were born to achieve. Chapter 12. Connect deeply with others to build strong support. The reason so many people feel lost, overwhelmed, and silently broken is not because they're weak, but because they've tried to carry the weight of life alone for far too long. Behind every strong person is a circle, even if it's small, of deep, unshakable support. Not shallow friendships. Not people who only show up when it's convenient, but real, soul-connected bonds, those rare human connections that keep you grounded when everything else feels like it's falling apart. You can't do this life thing by yourself. You weren't built to. There's a reason we crave understanding. There's a reason silence hurts more when no one notices it. There's a reason your biggest breakdowns often come when you feel like no one sees your struggle. That's not weakness. That's biology. That's emotion. That's humanity. You need people who get it, who see you, not for what you pretend to be, but for who you really are, underneath all the masks you've had to wear just to survive. And here's what most people don't realize. Real connection isn't built through convenience. It's forged in honesty, in vulnerability, in shared struggle. You don't connect with others by being perfect. You connect by being real. When you open up, when you stop hiding the parts of you that feel broken or unworthy, that's when the right people find you. That's when support stops being surface level and becomes soul deep. Most people walk around like islands. They think being strong means not needing anyone. They think independence is the same thing as isolation. But that's a lie the world has fed you to keep you disconnected. Because the more isolated you are, the more fragile you become. And when life hits you, and it will, you're left exposed, defenseless, and emotionally bankrupt. You don't need more strength. You need more connection. You need to build a tribe that doesn't just see your highlight reel, but stands with you in the shadows too. But building deep support doesn't happen by accident. You have to be intentional. You have to stop entertaining relationships that drain you. You have to walk away from people who constantly make you feel like you're too much or not enough. You have to start choosing people who speak life into your soul, who challenge your growth without shaming your wounds, who remind you of your worth when you've forgotten how to feel it. And before you can connect deeply with others, you have to reconnect with yourself. You have to stop being a stranger to your own pain. Stop avoiding your truth. Stop performing for people who were never meant to understand your journey. When you become honest with yourself, you attract people who are honest with you. When you own your story, every messy, painful, beautiful chapter, you give others permission to do the same. That's how real connection begins. That's where transformation lives. You're not meant to walk through hardship alone. You're not designed to fight every battle in silence. The people who thrive in life aren't the ones who do it all by themselves. They're the ones who knew when to reach out. They're the ones who built bridges while others built walls. They're the ones who created spaces where they could be both powerful and human at the same time. Think about it. Every time you've been deeply hurt, every time you've been exhausted to your core, what healed you wasn't logic, it was presence. It was that one person who stayed. It was the friend who didn't try to fix you but just sat with you in the dark. It was the conversation that made you feel like you weren't going crazy. That's the kind of support that rewires your brain. That's the kind of bond that makes healing possible. But here's the thing, they won't come knocking. You have to make space for those kinds of people. That means letting go of fake support systems. That means setting boundaries with those who constantly dismiss your feelings. That means doing the uncomfortable work of showing up as you truly are, not as the version of you that gets the most approval. There is strength in vulnerability. There is courage in asking for help. And there is wisdom in building a tribe of people who can catch you when you fall, remind you who you are, and walk with you through the chaos. You do not have to be perfect to be worthy of connection. You just have to be willing to show up, to be seen, and to let others in. And if you've been betrayed in the past, if you've opened your heart only to be disappointed or hurt, know this: not everyone is the same. There are still good people out there, people who want to love you the right way, people who aren't afraid of your intensity, your dreams, your darkness. But they can't find you if you keep hiding behind your past. They can't reach you if you keep building emotional walls to protect yourself from feeling again. Healing happens in safe spaces. Growth happens in honest relationships. Transformation happens when you find people who make you feel safe enough to take the armor off. And the strongest version of you is not the one who never cries. It's the one who knows when to cry and who to cry with. So ask yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they building you or breaking you? Are they feeding your spirit or draining your energy? Are they making you feel seen or making you feel small? Your circle matters more than you think. It's not just social, it's psychological. It's spiritual. It affects how you think, how you move, how you heal, how you dream. Stop settling for connections that are built on convenience. Start investing in relationships built on truth. And that starts with you. Be the kind of person who holds space for others. Be the one who listens without judgment. Be the one who lifts when others are breaking. And you'll start to attract people who do the same for you. You don't need 100 people. You just need the right ones. Even one deep connection can shift your entire life. Even one person who gets it, who stays, who believes in you when you're doubting yourself. That can be the difference between quitting and continuing, between despair and resilience. You deserve to feel supported. You deserve to feel understood. You deserve to feel like you're not alone in this world. But you have to give yourself permission to seek that, to build it, to nurture it. And it takes time, but it's worth it. Because nothing transforms your inner world faster than knowing someone has your back when life starts to collapse. Don't wait until you're at rock bottom to start building these bonds. Don't wait until you're drowning to reach for a lifeline. Start now. Start when things are good, so when the storms come, and they will, you have people who won't let you sink. Connection is your lifeline. And it starts with one brave moment, choosing to be seen, choosing to be real, choosing to let someone in. So take that risk. Reach out, listen deeply, share your truth, and build the kind of support that gives you the strength to rise every time life tries to pull you down. The greatest battles are won with strong allies. The deepest healing happens in honest connection. And the most powerful lives are built not alone but in unity, with people who believe in you, grow with you, and refuse to let you fall. Go find your people, or become the person who makes others feel like they've finally found home. Either way, the world needs more of that. And so do you. Chapter 13. Reflect regularly to track progress and adjust plans. If you never stop to look back and see how far you've come, you'll never truly know if you're moving forward or just running in circles. It's a brutal truth that most people avoid. Without reflection, progress becomes invisible. We get so caught up in the daily grind, in the endless chase of goals and deadlines, that we forget to pause and ask the crucial question, am I actually growing? Am I on the right path? Or am I simply busy being busy? Reflection is not just a feel-good exercise. It's the foundation of all meaningful progress. It's the compass that helps you navigate the chaos of life. When you take the time to look honestly at your journey, you gain clarity. You discover what's working and what's wasting your energy. You uncover the blind spots that hold you back. Without this self-check, you risk spinning your wheels, chasing illusions, and draining your spirit. But reflection is not about beating yourself up over mistakes. It's about gathering data from your experiences, good and bad, and using it to make smarter decisions moving forward. Imagine if every setback you faced was not a dead end, but a powerful lesson guiding you toward a better strategy. Imagine if every success was not a final destination, but a milestone that shows you what to keep doing. The people who change their lives don't just hustle harder, they reflect deeper. They treat their progress like a science, constantly measuring, analyzing, and adjusting. They know that goals are not rigid commands, but flexible destinations that require course correction. They embrace the discomfort of honesty because they understand that growth demands it. Think about the last time you tried something new. Did you stop to evaluate how it went? Did you ask yourself what you learned, what you could improve, or whether the effort aligned with your true values? Or did you just push forward, hoping things would magically get better? Without reflection, you're like a ship without a rudder, subject to every wave and current without direction. But when you commit to regular reflection, you take control of your voyage. You become the captain who steers intentionally, who reads the weather, who adjusts the sails instead of drifting aimlessly. Reflection is also a practice of gratitude. It forces you to recognize progress even when it feels slow. When you track your wins, no matter how small, you build momentum and confidence. When you acknowledge lessons learned from failures, you transform shame into strength. This simple act of looking back creates a powerful psychological shift. It rewires your brain to see challenges as growth opportunities instead of threats. But reflection isn't just about the past, it's about the future. When you take time to assess where you are, You naturally identify what needs to change. You spot patterns that keep dragging you down. You realize some goals no longer serve you. You find clarity on what deserves more of your focus and what deserves to be dropped. This awareness allows you to adjust your plans, refine your approach, and move forward with renewed purpose. Most people avoid this process because it's uncomfortable. It's easier to keep going on autopilot than to face the hard truths about what isn't working. But if you want to break free from stagnation, if you want to reclaim control of your life, reflection is non-negotiable. It's the reset button you desperately need. To make reflection truly powerful, you need to create a consistent habit. This isn't a one-time activity, it's a lifestyle. Set aside regular time, weekly, monthly, or even daily, to check in with yourself. Ask the tough questions. Write down your thoughts. Track your progress. Celebrate your growth. Identify your obstacles, and then use what you discover to tweak your plans. Journaling is one of the most effective tools for reflection. Putting your thoughts on paper helps you process emotions, organize your ideas, and uncover insights you might miss when everything is swirling in your head. But reflection can also happen through meditation, deep conversations, or simply quiet moments alone. The key is intentionality, choosing to pause and dive deep into your experience. When you make reflection part of your routine, you build self-awareness, and self-awareness is the gateway to transformation. It empowers you to break free from unconscious habits and make choices aligned with your deepest goals. It teaches you to listen to your intuition, to spot when you're off track, and to course correct before small problems become crises. It's not enough to set goals blindly and hope for the best. The world is too unpredictable, and your circumstances will change. But when you develop the habit of reflection, you become adaptable, you become resilient, you become unstoppable. Think about the most successful people you admire. They didn't get there by chance. They showed up every day, worked hard, and most importantly, they reflected. They asked themselves what they could do better. They tracked their progress relentlessly. They adjusted their strategies without ego. They turned obstacles into stepping stones. You can do the same. You have the power to turn reflection into your secret weapon, to transform your setbacks into breakthroughs, to move with clarity instead of confusion, to live intentionally instead of reacting blindly. The first step is to commit. Commit to regular self-check-ins. Commit to being brutally honest with yourself. Commit to learning from every experience. Commit to celebrating your growth, no matter how small, and commit to adjusting your plans whenever necessary. Remember, progress is not a straight line. It's a spiral, full of twists and turns. Without reflection, you're blind to those curves and risk crashing. With reflection, you see every bend coming and navigate with confidence. So start today. Find a quiet moment. Ask yourself, what did I learn this week? What worked? What didn't? What can I do differently moving forward? Write it down. Let your answers guide you. Let reflection become the steady pulse that drives your journey. Your future self will thank you for the clarity you create now, for the wisdom you gain through honest review, for the courage to adapt instead of resist, for the strength to keep moving forward with eyes wide open. If you want to rise, to grow, to transform, make reflection your foundation, because the path to greatness isn't about doing more. It's about doing better. It's about learning faster. It's about becoming so self-aware that no obstacle can stop you. The power is in your hands. The moment is now. Look back, learn, adjust, and leap forward. You are not just moving, you are evolving, and that changes everything. Chapter 14. Visualize success to motivate and maintain your focus. What if I told you that the most powerful weapon to conquer your goals is already inside your mind, waiting for you to unlock it? Success doesn't start with action alone. It begins with a vision so vivid, so real, that it fuels your every move, pulls you through the hardest moments, and keeps you locked in on what truly matters. Visualization is not just daydreaming. It's a deliberate mental rehearsal that programs your brain to recognize opportunities, overcome obstacles, and push beyond limits. Imagine standing at the finish line of your biggest goal. See the weight of accomplishment in your hands. Feel the rush of pride, the smiles of those who believed in you, the relief of proving yourself when doubt was screaming. This isn't a fantasy. It's a mental exercise that athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders use every day to prime their minds for victory. The brain can't tell the difference between a real experience and a deeply imagined one. When you practice success in your mind, your neural pathways fire as if it's happening. Your emotions rise, your motivation surges, and your focus sharpens. Visualization ignites the emotional core of your drive, transforming abstract hopes into burning desire. But here's the catch. Visualization works only if it's vivid, detailed, and emotional. You must paint the scene with all your senses. Hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the air, taste the victory. The more immersive your mental picture, the stronger the impact on your subconscious mind. When you wake up each morning and see yourself succeeding, your brain starts to align your actions with that picture. It looks for ways to make that vision a reality. It scans your environment for opportunities and solutions you might have missed otherwise. This mental priming rewires your mindset from doubt to certainty, from hesitation to action. Success doesn't happen by chance or wishful thinking. It is the product of relentless focus and unwavering belief. Visualization anchors both. It becomes a magnet pulling your energy, your time, and your efforts toward the outcome you desire. Many people neglect this step, rushing straight to work without ever stopping to see their finish line. They work hard but feel lost, exhausted, or frustrated because their efforts lack emotional fuel. Without a clear mental picture of success, motivation fades and distractions creep in. Let me share a story. There was a young woman who dreamed of running a marathon. She trained physically, but her real breakthrough came when she started visualizing her race. She imagined every mile, the cheering crowd, the pounding of her heart, the moment she crossed the finish line with tears streaming down her face. That image became her anchor through grueling early mornings and sore muscles. The visualization made the pain meaningful. It gave her purpose beyond the physical struggle. By the time race day arrived, she had rehearsed victory so many times in her mind that her body followed. Her focus never wavered, even when fatigue threatened. She crossed the finish line, not just physically prepared, but mentally unstoppable. This example shows how visualization creates a bridge between dreams and reality. It transforms your mindset from victim of circumstances to master of your destiny. To harness this power, start simple. Close your eyes and see your goal as if it's already achieved. Notice what you feel. Is it pride, relief, joy? Let those feelings wash over you. The brain remembers emotions far better than facts. Anchor those feelings in your mind so they become the fuel for your journey. Next, break your goal into smaller moments and visualize those too. Imagine the daily actions you'll take, the challenges you'll overcome, the small wins that lead to the big breakthrough. When you see these details clearly, you reduce fear and build confidence. Your mind begins to believe success is not only possible, but inevitable. This practice rewires your mental habits. It replaces doubt with belief, hesitation with certainty, and fear with courage. The more you visualize, the more your subconscious mind aligns your thoughts and behaviors with the vision. Your focus sharpens naturally because your brain is wired for success. But don't stop at mental images. Take inspired action immediately after your visualization. Let that clarity guide your next steps. Visualization is the spark, but action is the fire. Together, they create unstoppable momentum. Remember, setbacks will come, distractions will whisper lies of failure. But when your mind has rehearsed success repeatedly, those voices lose power. You've seen yourself overcome, you've felt the triumph, and that inner image becomes your anchor in stormy seas. Imagine your future self, confident and accomplished, looking back at you. What advice does that person give? What does that version of you want right now? Visualization connects you with your future self, bridging the gap between who you are and who you want to be. The greatest achievers don't just work harder, they see farther. They hold a mental picture so compelling, it drives their every decision. That image becomes a force field against doubt, distraction, and fear. You can cultivate this power starting today. Make visualization a daily habit. Before you dive into work, before the noise of the day pulls you away, spend minutes painting your success in the mind's eye. Feel it deeply. Live it mentally. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to crave success. It trains your focus like a muscle, building resilience against the inevitable challenges. It fuels your motivation so you never run on empty. Visualization is your secret weapon to transform dreams into reality. It turns abstract hopes into concrete plans. It sparks the fire that keeps you moving when motivation dips and obstacles loom. If you want to elevate your life, lock in your focus, and harness unstoppable motivation, start with a clear mental picture of your success. Build it, feel it, believe it, and watch how your reality shifts to match your vision. Your future self is waiting on the other side of belief, ready to live the success you imagine today. Don't just chase your goals, see them, feel them, and own them in your mind first. The moment to act is now. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and visualize the success that's already yours. Let that vision pull you forward. Let it ignite your passion and sharpen your focus. This is your path to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Step into your power. See your victory. Live it mentally, and then go make it real. Chapter 15. Push beyond comfort zones to unlock your potential. If you never leave the place where you feel safe, comfortable, and predictable, you will never discover how far you can truly go. The truth is this: everything that lies beyond your comfort zone is where your greatest potential waits, patient, unclaimed, and alive. It doesn't shout or knock. It whispers and waits for you to take the first step, that single act of courage that shatters the invisible walls of safety you've built around yourself. Think about it. Your comfort zone is like a cage built with familiar habits, easy routines, and the illusion of control. It feels secure, yet it stifles your growth. It keeps you trapped in a cycle where nothing changes, where the same struggles repeat, where your potential slowly fades in the background of complacency. The biggest breakthroughs in life, the kind that reshape your identity and set your spirit on fire, are never born in comfort. They emerge when you step into discomfort, when you push the boundaries of what you think is possible. Imagine a seed trapped in a small pot. It can only grow so big before it's stopped by the pot's edges. But once planted in open soil, reaching through dirt and stones, breaking the surface into the light, the seed grows into a mighty tree. Your comfort zone is the pot. To grow, you must break free. The moment you challenge yourself beyond familiar limits, fear rises. That's natural. Fear is not your enemy. It is a sign that you are about to expand, that your mind and body are waking up to new possibilities. But if fear makes you retreat, you stay small. If fear motivates you to move forward, you grow stronger. There was a man who had a dream to start his own business. For years he worked a steady job because it was comfortable and secure. Every night he thought about what might be. But the fear of failure kept him frozen. One day, after hearing a simple truth, growth happens when you push past fear, not when you wait for it to disappear, he took a small but decisive step. He signed up for a course in entrepreneurship. That tiny action pushed him out of his comfort zone. The course was challenging, the questions were uncomfortable, and doubt tried to paralyze him. But each time he faced the discomfort, he grew more confident. Today he runs a thriving business that started from that one moment of courage. This story could be yours. Your comfort zone is comfortable because it's familiar, but familiar breeds stagnation. Growth demands discomfort. Growth demands you stretch yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. You might feel tired just thinking about stepping outside what you know. That's because your brain wants to keep you safe. It prefers the known, even if it's painful or limiting, over the unknown. This is an ancient survival instinct, but survival is not enough. Not for you. What separates those who live ordinary lives from those who achieve extraordinary things is their willingness to be uncomfortable, to take risks when others play it safe, to endure temporary pain for lasting change, to face uncertainty with grit. The discomfort of growth feels like resistance in the moment, but like freedom in hindsight. When you push beyond your comfort, your confidence grows. You realize that you're capable of more than you believed. Your mind rewires itself to embrace challenges rather than avoid them. This is why every goal worth pursuing will feel uncomfortable before it becomes easy. Your mind has to relearn what you're truly capable of. Your muscles have to adapt. Your emotions have to shift from fear to excitement. Start by identifying one small area where you feel stuck or safe, but know it limits you. It could be speaking up when it's hard, waking up earlier, trying something new, or confronting a fear. Commit to stepping beyond that boundary for just one day, 1 hour, or one action. When you do, notice how your mind reacts. The discomfort will show up, maybe doubt, anxiety, or the urge to quit. Recognize it as the sound of your growth gears turning. Feel it fully, then push through it. Every time you move past that discomfort, your potential expands. What once seemed impossible becomes possible. The walls of your cage crack. You learn resilience, strength, and courage. People often say, "I'm just not a risk taker." But risk-taking is a skill, not a trait. It grows through repeated practice of facing discomfort and choosing action. The more you practice, the braver you become. There will be setbacks. There will be moments when you want to retreat back to safety. Those moments are tests, not failures. They measure your commitment to growth. The difference is in how you respond. Instead of surrendering to fear or discomfort, lean into it. Ask yourself, what am I learning here? How will this make me stronger? Over time, discomfort becomes familiar, and you begin to crave challenges because you know they shape you. This mindset transforms your life. You stop avoiding hard conversations, difficult tasks, or new experiences. Instead, you seek them, because you realize that every stretch is a step toward the person you want to be. Look at the stories of those who changed the world. Every single one of them stepped into the unknown. They endured failures, ridicule, and doubt. Yet they pushed through discomfort because they understood their potential was waiting on the other side. You don't have to leap blindly. Growth is a process. Take measured risks, one after another. Learn, adjust, and build confidence. Each discomfort you face is a stone on the path to your highest self. Imagine the pride you'll feel when you look back and realize how many fears you overcame, how many times you chose courage over comfort. That feeling alone will fuel you to keep going. Push beyond your comfort zone today by making one decision that scares you. Speak your truth, start a new habit, take a difficult step. It doesn't have to be monumental, but it must move you forward. As you build this muscle, your world will expand. Opportunities you never imagined will appear. Your energy will increase. Your belief in yourself will become unshakable. You have within you a reservoir of untapped potential. It's locked behind the doors of comfort. Only you hold the key. Choose to turn it. The moment to start is now. Don't wait for motivation or perfect conditions. Those are illusions. Action creates motivation. Movement generates momentum. Decide right now to live beyond safety, to embrace discomfort as a teacher, to stretch until you become the person you've always dreamed of being. Your greatest breakthroughs are waiting just beyond the walls you've built around your comfort. Tear them down with courage, one step at a time. This journey is not easy. It is the most rewarding path you will ever take. Step into discomfort, unlock your potential, become unstoppable, and when you do, you will look back and realize this was the moment everything changed, the moment you refused to settle and chose to grow. Chapter 16. Control your emotions to respond with clarity and calm. Your emotions don't have to control you. You can master them and transform chaos into clarity. Picture a moment in your life when anger, fear, or frustration took over. Maybe it was a heated argument, a sudden disappointment, or an unexpected challenge. In those moments, your mind felt clouded, your decisions rushed, and your heart pounded like a storm. Now, imagine what life would feel like if, instead of being swept away by that storm, you could stand calm in the center of it, clear, composed, and in control. Controlling your emotions is not about suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding their power and choosing how you respond rather than reacting blindly. The difference between reacting and responding is the difference between losing yourself and owning yourself. When emotions run wild, clarity vanishes. You lose sight of your goals, your values, and your true self. Decisions made in the heat of the moment often lead to regret, broken relationships, and missed opportunities. But when you learn to control your emotions, you create space for calm and clear thinking. You become the captain steering your ship through turbulent seas instead of a passenger tossed by every wave. Emotions are signals, not commands. They are messengers from your inner world, telling you what matters, what hurts, and what excites. The problem is when you treat those signals as orders and act impulsively. Instead, you can train yourself to listen to the message without losing your balance. Imagine a fire alarm. It signals danger, but it doesn't make you run blindly into the flames. Instead, it tells you to stop, assess, and act wisely. Your emotions are like that alarm. They deserve your attention, but not your surrender. The most powerful people don't avoid emotional discomfort, they face it head-on with awareness. They ask themselves, why am I feeling this way? What is this emotion trying to teach me? This self-awareness creates a pause, a moment where you shift from automatic reaction to conscious response. Building this control starts with simple but profound habits. The first is learning to breathe deeply when emotions rise. Deep breathing activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's natural calming mechanism. It slows your heart rate and clears your mind, giving you the mental space to think. Next, practice naming your emotions. When you feel overwhelmed, silently say to yourself, "I am feeling angry," or "I am feeling anxious." Naming emotions removes their vague, overpowering grip and brings them into focus, making them easier to manage. Another critical step is recognizing your triggers, those specific people, situations, or thoughts that ignite strong emotional reactions. Awareness of triggers allows you to prepare in advance and decide how you want to handle them instead of reacting impulsively. You can also create a mental pause button. When something happens that stirs your emotions, don't rush to respond. Instead, pause for a moment. This pause is your power. It's a break between stimulus and reaction, a chance to choose your words and actions deliberately. Control over emotions doesn't mean you won't feel them, it means you won't be ruled by them. Think of a skilled surfer riding a giant wave. The wave is powerful, but the surfer uses skill and balance to navigate it without being swallowed. Story after story shows the damage caused by uncontrolled emotions. Careers ruined by rash decisions, friendships broken by harsh words, dreams shattered by impulsive actions. Yet, the opposite is just as true. Calm minds make wise choices, build strong relationships, and create lasting success. One woman I know faced a situation where her emotions threatened to overwhelm her. A business deal collapsed, and she was filled with frustration and despair. Instead of lashing out or giving up, she took a step back, focused on controlling her emotional state, and calmly analyzed what went wrong. Her clear mind found solutions others missed. Months later, she had not only recovered, but had built a stronger, more successful venture. Imagine how your life would change if you never allowed anger to dictate your words, fear to paralyze your actions, or anxiety to cloud your vision. Imagine handling stress with calm and responding to conflict with clarity. Emotional control is a muscle. It grows stronger every time you use it. At first it may feel difficult, like learning to walk or ride a bike, but with persistence, it becomes second nature. It starts with small victories, choosing calm in a minor disagreement, breathing through frustration, pausing before reacting. These moments build up, creating a foundation for handling greater challenges with grace. Your mind is not a battlefield where emotions fight for control. It is a garden where awareness, choice, and discipline grow. You can plant seeds of calm and clarity that blossom into wisdom. A key to emotional mastery is self-compassion. When you stumble or lose control, don't beat yourself up. See it as part of the journey, a chance to learn and grow. Every effort to regain control strengthens your ability. Consider the power of perspective. When emotions surge, step back and ask, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? Often the intensity fades when you see the bigger picture. This shift helps you respond calmly instead of reacting impulsively. You also gain emotional control by prioritizing your well-being. Regular exercise, restful sleep, and mindful practices like meditation strengthen your brain's capacity to regulate emotions. When your body and mind are well cared for, emotional balance comes easier. Surround yourself with people who model emotional clarity. Learn from those who listen before reacting, who express feelings constructively, and who maintain composure under pressure. Their example will inspire you. Remember, emotional control is not coldness or detachment. It is a warm, steady presence that allows you to connect deeply with others while maintaining your center. It is the difference between exploding and communicating, between chaos and peace. Life will throw challenges your way that test your emotional strength. You cannot avoid them, but you can prepare. When you develop the habit of responding with clarity and calm, you make every challenge an opportunity for growth. Imagine the respect you will earn when you speak calmly in tense moments, the trust you will build when people know you won't lose control, and the peace you will feel when your mind remains steady, regardless of outside storms. Your emotions are powerful allies or dangerous enemies. The choice is yours. Will you let them rule you, or will you become their master? Start now by noticing your emotional patterns. When you feel overwhelmed, pause, breathe, and name the emotion. Ask yourself what you can learn. Choose your next move with intention. This simple practice will transform how you navigate life's ups and downs. It will open doors to deeper relationships, better decisions, and a more peaceful mind. The freedom that comes from controlling your emotions is one of life's greatest gifts. It allows you to live fully, respond wisely, and act with confidence. Your journey to emotional mastery begins with one conscious choice, the choice to rise above the storm within and respond with clarity and calm. Take that step today. Feel the power that comes when your emotions serve you instead of control you. And never forget, your calm mind is your greatest strength in a chaotic world. Cultivate it, protect it, own it. The path to lasting success and peace runs through your ability to master your inner world. Start now and watch your life transform in ways you never imagined. Chapter 17. Invest in yourself by developing new valuable habits. If you want to change the trajectory of your life, the single most powerful investment you can make is in yourself, by developing habits that add real value to your future. Think about the person you want to become, not just in a year, not just next month, but in every moment going forward. What if every day you chose one small habit, one action that pulled you closer to that vision? That's not just growth, that's transformation. Most people spend more time worrying about money, other people's opinions, or random distractions than investing in themselves. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or a sudden wave of motivation. But here's the truth: the perfect moment doesn't exist. You don't wait to become someone valuable. You build yourself piece by piece, day by day, through the habits you create. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They shape your thoughts, your energy, your mindset, and ultimately your results. If your habits are weak, fragmented, or aimless, so will be your progress. But when you build strong, meaningful habits, habits that are designed to improve your mind, your body, and your skills, you create unstoppable momentum. Imagine waking up every morning energized because you've established a morning habit that sharpens your focus. Picture yourself ending each day with a habit that reinforces your learning and growth, like reading a book or journaling your progress. These aren't just actions, they are deposits into your future self's bank account, interest compounding with every repetition. What makes a habit valuable? It's not about grand gestures or dramatic changes. Valuable habits are consistent, purposeful, and aligned with your highest goals. They might be as simple as dedicating 10 minutes a day to learning a new skill, choosing healthy foods consistently, or reflecting on what you accomplished each day. Over time, these small habits build layers of strength that no setback can erase. But investing in yourself through habits is not always easy. The comfort zone fights back with distractions, excuses, and old patterns. Your mind resists change because it's wired to seek familiarity and avoid discomfort. That's why habit formation requires discipline and commitment. It requires you to push through the initial resistance and keep showing up even when you don't feel like it. Here's the secret. The struggle at the beginning of building a new habit is the gateway to your growth. When you feel uncomfortable or impatient, that's the exact moment your future self is being shaped. Every time you push past that discomfort, you grow stronger. It's a muscle that strengthens with practice. Stories of people who invested in themselves through habits inspire because they reveal the power of tiny, consistent actions. One man started by waking up 15 minutes earlier every day to plan his goals. Within months, this small change gave him clarity, reduced stress, and increased his productivity. Another woman decided to replace just one unhealthy snack with a nutritious alternative daily. Gradually, her energy improved, and she lost weight without feeling deprived. These habits didn't seem monumental at first, but over time they rewrote their lives. Visualize your life 1 year from now if you start today. What if the person you want to be isn't a distant dream, but a natural result of the habits you cultivate? What if instead of chasing motivation, you build a system so powerful that it carries you forward even when motivation fades? Every moment you spend scrolling aimlessly, doubting your ability, or waiting for external validation is a moment you could use to strengthen yourself with a new habit. That's your real competition, time and attention. By choosing to invest those in yourself, you claim your future. This investment pays off in all areas: mental clarity, emotional resilience, physical health, relationships, and career. When you develop habits like daily learning, regular exercise, meditation, or goal setting, you build a foundation that supports every dream you hold. You create a version of yourself who is ready to handle opportunities and challenges alike. The process is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Some days you'll stumble, some days you'll skip, but if you keep returning to your habits, you win. You create a feedback loop where each success, no matter how small, fuels your confidence and determination. Ask yourself, what habit can I start today that will serve my highest vision? What action will I commit to that no one else will do for me? That simple question holds immense power, because the answer leads you to invest in your greatest asset, yourself. Building valuable habits is also an act of self-respect. It means you believe your growth matters enough to prioritize it daily. It means you refuse to let excuses or laziness steal your future. You honor your potential by the choices you make in each moment. Some habits transform your mindset by feeding your mind with positivity and knowledge. Others improve your body's energy so you can perform at your best. Still, others enhance your emotional intelligence, helping you connect with others deeply and authentically. Every habit, no matter the focus, adds to your overall value as a person. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the idea of change. You might think, where do I even start? The key is to focus on one habit at a time, master it, own it, then move to the next. This layered approach builds momentum and confidence. Also, track your progress. When you see your consistency, even in small doses, it ignites motivation. Progress creates proof that you are capable. This proof changes how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Be mindful of the habits you allow to consume your time. Bad habits drain energy and focus. Replace them intentionally with habits that elevate your life. This conscious curation of your habits is a form of self-investment just as powerful as learning or skill building. Remember, your environment influences your habits. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth and positivity. Create physical spaces that inspire productivity and calm. These external investments support the internal work you're doing to build valuable habits. Imagine the ripple effect of your habit investment. As you grow, you inspire others around you. Your discipline and dedication become a beacon that pulls others toward their own growth. Your investment in yourself multiplies beyond your immediate life. There is no shortcut to becoming a better version of yourself. No one else can do this work for you. The only way forward is through intentional, consistent investment in your habits. This is the path of champions, leaders, and every successful person you admire. One final truth: habits shape your identity. When you invest in habits that serve your highest goals, you are rewiring your brain to become the person you want to be. Your actions and habits are the foundation of your character and your legacy. Now is the moment to decide. Will you continue on autopilot, letting life happen to you? Or will you take control by building habits that build you? Start small, but start now. Choose a habit that matters. Commit to it daily. When doubt or resistance comes, remind yourself this is an investment in your freedom, your power, and your future. You are worth the effort. Your potential is worth fighting for. When you invest in yourself through new valuable habits, you create a life that isn't just lived, it's mastered. Take that first step today. Watch as your habits transform your mind, your body, your spirit, and your world. Your future self will thank you for the investment you make right now. Don't wait for motivation. Create it by taking action. Own your growth. Own your life. Start building your valuable habits today. Chapter 18. Speak positively to yourself to reinforce belief daily. If you want to change everything about your life, start by changing the way you talk to yourself. Because your inner voice is the most powerful force shaping your reality every single day. It's astonishing how much damage we do ourselves without even realizing it. The words you say inside your own mind can either build a fortress of strength or tear down your confidence brick by brick. Most people never stop to listen to their internal dialogue, but that voice is constantly influencing your emotions, your choices, and your results. If that voice is negative, doubting, or harsh, you will feel stuck, powerless, and frustrated. But if you learn to speak positively to yourself, daily, intentionally, you can rewrite your beliefs and unleash a new version of who you are. Think about how often you judge yourself, criticize your mistakes, or replay your failures silently in your mind. Maybe you tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never get this right." These words are poison. They drain your energy and sabotage your progress long before you even take action. What if instead you made a conscious decision to replace every negative thought with words that uplift, encourage, and empower you? What if your internal voice became your greatest coach and supporter? This shift isn't just about being positive in a shallow way. It's about retraining your mind to see your potential clearly and to speak to yourself with respect and belief. When you consistently reinforce positive messages to yourself, you start to believe them deeply. Your brain rewires itself to accept those messages as truth, changing how you feel, how you act, and what you achieve. Consider the power of a simple sentence repeated daily. I am capable of overcoming challenges. At first, it may feel strange or unbelievable, but over time, that affirmation builds resilience. It trains your brain to focus on your strength rather than your doubts. Every repetition strengthens the neural pathways connected to confidence and courage, making them easier to access when you face real challenges. The stories of those who transformed their lives through self-talk reveal an important pattern. A champion athlete once struggled with self-doubt, letting fear control his performance. But he committed to daily positive self-talk, reminding himself of his skill, preparation, and past victories. Eventually, his inner critic was silenced, replaced by a voice that fueled belief and peak performance. His success wasn't just physical, it began inside his mind. You might wonder, how do I start when my mind is already so noisy with negativity? The answer is simple: awareness. Start by noticing what you say to yourself. Listen closely to your inner dialogue throughout the day. When you catch a negative thought, pause and ask, is this true? Is this helpful? Then deliberately choose to replace it with a positive, constructive statement that aligns with your goals. Positive self-talk is not about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing words that serve your growth instead of words that limit it. For example, instead of thinking, I failed at this, say, I'm learning what doesn't work, and I'm getting closer to success. This subtle shift changes your mindset from defeat to determination. Another key to reinforcing belief daily is repetition. The mind thrives on repetition because it creates habits of thought. If you want to internalize positive beliefs, you must feed them consistently. Write down affirmations, repeat them aloud every morning, or create reminders on your phone. The more you immerse yourself in empowering language, the faster your mind will embrace those ideas. It's also vital to tailor your self-talk to your authentic self and your unique goals. Generic affirmations won't stick unless they resonate deeply. Create personal statements that reflect who you want to become and what you value most. This connection makes the words feel real, not just empty phrases. When you speak positively to yourself, you also change how others see you. Confidence radiates outward, influencing your interactions and opportunities. People are drawn to those who believe in themselves. Your inner dialogue affects your body language, your tone of voice, and your willingness to take risks. Positive self-talk isn't just an internal exercise, it's a foundation for authentic magnetic presence. Remember, this process takes patience. Your mind is used to old patterns, so it will resist change. When negativity creeps back in, don't get discouraged. Simply notice it, release it, and return to your positive statements. Over time, the balance will shift, and positive self-talk will become your default. Imagine waking up every day, knowing you have a reliable inner coach cheering you on. This voice doesn't judge mistakes, but sees them as stepping stones. It encourages you to push forward, reminds you of your progress, and celebrates your effort. This is the kind of mental environment that breeds success and fulfillment. You don't have to wait for external validation or perfect conditions to start speaking positively to yourself. You hold the power to transform your mindset at any moment. The moment you decide to treat yourself with kindness and belief, you open a door to possibilities you might never have imagined. Take a moment right now to say to yourself, I am worthy of success. I am capable of growth. I am enough just as I am. Feel the weight of those words sink in. Let them fuel your next move. This simple act is the foundation for a life built on self-respect and unshakable belief. When you invest in positive self-talk daily, you rewrite your story from one of struggle to one of strength. You create a mental fortress that no setback can breach. You step into your true power because you no longer rely on others' approval. You approve of yourself first. This is not wishful thinking. It is a proven psychological tool that shapes how you experience the world. Positive language changes your brain chemistry, reduces stress, and increases motivation. It sharpens your focus and boosts resilience. It helps you navigate challenges with grace and determination. Imagine the ripple effect. As you change your internal dialogue, you inspire others to do the same. Your courage to speak kindly to yourself becomes a beacon, showing that transformation is possible. You become a leader, not just in action, but in mindset. So what will you choose today? Will you continue to let doubt and criticism control your thoughts? Or will you take charge of your inner voice, empowering yourself to rise above fear and uncertainty? Start now by catching your next negative thought and flipping it into a positive, supportive message. Make this your daily ritual until it becomes automatic. As you do this, watch how your confidence grows, how your stress fades, and how your life begins to align with your deepest desires. You deserve to live with a mind that believes in you without hesitation. Your words to yourself hold the key to unlocking that belief. Step into the practice of positive self-talk. Speak to yourself as you would to your best friend, with encouragement, kindness, and unwavering faith. This daily investment will create a foundation so strong that nothing can shake your belief in yourself. Don't wait for a crisis or a breakthrough to start this. Begin today, in this moment, because your future depends on the messages you send to your mind right now. Own your narrative, reinforce your belief daily. Become the person who not only dreams but acts from a place of undeniable confidence. The power to transform your life lies in your words. Start speaking to yourself with positive conviction and watch how everything changes. Chapter 19. Practice gratitude to increase happiness and motivation. What if I told you that the single most powerful tool to transform your entire life, your happiness, your motivation, your relationships, was something you already carry inside you every day, yet almost never use fully? That tool is gratitude. Gratitude is not some vague feel-good concept or a cliché tossed around by self-help books. It's a force that reshapes your brain, rewires your mindset, and rewrites your story in ways that create lasting happiness and unstoppable drive. If you struggle to find joy or purpose, if motivation fades before you even begin, the missing piece might be as simple as what you focus on, and how often you choose to appreciate what's already present. The difference between someone who feels fulfilled and energized and someone who feels empty or stuck often lies in gratitude. This practice, when done with intention and consistency, shifts your entire internal landscape. It pulls your attention away from scarcity, frustration, and what's wrong, and plants it firmly on abundance, progress, and what's going right, even when life feels unfair or overwhelming. Picture this: a person waking up each morning and immediately scanning their life, not for what they lack, but for what they can be thankful for. It might be a warm bed, a breath in their lungs, a person who loves them, or even a small victory they achieved the day before. This simple act rewires the brain to notice good things. Over time, the mind naturally seeks out more reasons to feel grateful, turning gratitude into a powerful habit. Science backs this up. Studies show that gratitude activates brain regions linked to dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals responsible for feelings of happiness and well-being. The more you practice gratitude, the more these chemicals flow freely, boosting mood naturally. But it's not just about feeling good in the moment. It's about creating an upward spiral where motivation and energy feed off happiness. This means gratitude isn't just about feeling better, it's about doing better. When you recognize the positives in your life, you gain the emotional fuel to chase goals relentlessly. You find patience when faced with setbacks because you remember what you already have and how far you've come. Gratitude sharpens your perspective, making challenges seem less like obstacles and more like stepping stones. But how do you begin practicing gratitude when life feels heavy or unfair? The first step is to acknowledge the struggle. Gratitude doesn't require you to ignore pain or hardship. Instead, it asks you to hold two truths at once: that life is difficult and that there is still something worth appreciating. This balance creates resilience and helps you move forward without losing hope. One way to cultivate gratitude is through journaling. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big or dramatic. A smile from a stranger, a delicious cup of coffee, or even the fact that you woke up to a new day counts. This act trains your mind to scan your experience for positives, no matter how small, creating a habit that transforms your outlook. Another powerful approach is to express gratitude directly to others. When you thank someone sincerely, you not only brighten their day, but also deepen your connection with them. This strengthens your support system, making your path toward your goals less lonely and more fulfilling. Gratitude shared is gratitude multiplied. Gratitude also helps silence the noise of comparison and envy. When you focus on what you have, instead of what others possess, you reclaim your mental energy. You stop chasing illusions of more or better and begin appreciating your unique journey. This mindset shift reduces anxiety and jealousy, freeing you to build your own success on your own terms. There's a story about a man who lost everything in a fire: the home, possessions, and memories. Many would expect despair to consume him, but he chose to focus on the fact that he and his family were safe. That decision rooted him in gratitude, sparking a determination to rebuild his life stronger than before. His gratitude didn't erase loss. It created a foundation for hope and action. This shows that gratitude isn't about denying pain, it's about empowering yourself to rise above it. When you practice gratitude, you're rewiring your brain to prioritize hope and positivity even in tough times. This emotional resilience is a secret weapon that can push you through moments when motivation wanes or obstacles loom large. You might feel skeptical. Can gratitude really shift something as deep as motivation? The answer is yes, because motivation thrives on emotional energy. When you feel grateful, your emotional energy is elevated, making you more likely to take action and persist. Gratitude keeps your mind connected to purpose and meaning, essential drivers of sustained effort. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of focusing on problems or what's missing. Society, media, and even personal habits push us toward dissatisfaction. But by deliberately redirecting your attention toward gratitude, you break this cycle. This creates space for new possibilities, creativity, and joy to enter your life. The daily practice of gratitude also influences how you see yourself. When you acknowledge the good within your life, you begin to recognize your own value and contributions. This builds self-esteem and confidence, which further fuel motivation. The more you appreciate what you bring to the table, the more you are willing to invest in yourself and your goals. Imagine waking each day feeling anchored in what's good and promising. You have a steady source of motivation that doesn't depend on external validation or perfect conditions. This internal source keeps you moving forward, even when challenges threaten to derail you. To deepen your gratitude practice, consider creating rituals. Maybe it's a morning meditation focused on appreciation, or an evening reflection on the day's blessings. These rituals act like emotional anchors, reinforcing a mindset of gratitude and happiness. They also remind your brain to seek the positive, even when life's pace tries to pull your focus elsewhere. Another key to sustained gratitude is mindfulness. When you live in the present moment, you notice the beauty and gifts that exist right now, not just what you hope for later. Mindfulness amplifies gratitude by making you aware of the richness in your daily experiences, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, the taste of your favorite meal. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring ambition. Instead, it coexists with the desire to grow and improve. By appreciating what you have while working toward what you want, you create a balanced mindset. This balance reduces burnout and frustration, making your journey toward success more enjoyable and sustainable. Consider how gratitude influences your relationships. When you appreciate others and express it openly, you create bonds rooted in positivity and respect. These relationships become sources of support and inspiration. Feeling connected and supported increases happiness, which in turn boosts motivation. You might wonder how to keep gratitude alive during the toughest times. The secret is to start small and be consistent. Even when life feels chaotic, finding a single moment or thing to be thankful for can anchor you. Over time, these small moments accumulate, creating a powerful reservoir of positivity that sustains you. Gratitude is also a form of self-care. When you allow yourself to feel thankful, you're nurturing your emotional well-being. This nurturance is critical to maintaining motivation and mental health. Neglecting gratitude can leave you vulnerable to stress, anxiety, and despair. As you practice gratitude more deeply, you may notice a shift in how you set goals. Gratitude encourages goals rooted in meaningful values rather than superficial achievements. This shift makes your pursuit more fulfilling and aligned with your true self. Imagine the impact if everyone around you practiced gratitude daily. The collective energy of appreciation would ripple outward, creating communities and environments filled with positivity and support. You have the power to be a catalyst for this change by modeling gratitude in your life. You hold within you the capacity to increase your happiness and motivation right now by choosing gratitude. This choice is simple yet profound. It rewires your brain, strengthens your spirit, and propels you toward your best self. Begin today by noticing 3 things you're grateful for. Write them down. Feel them. Let them remind you that life, even with its challenges, contains abundant reasons to smile and strive. Use gratitude to fuel your motivation. When you feel stuck, return to this wellspring of appreciation and let it lift you. Let it remind you why you started and what you're working to create. Gratitude is the lens that sharpens your vision for life. It brightens your path and warms your heart. Embrace it as a daily practice and watch as your happiness expands and your motivation ignites like never before. The journey ahead is long and full of twists, but gratitude will be your steadfast companion, your secret weapon, your source of light when darkness threatens. Let it guide you, sustain you, and transform you. Your life is waiting to be filled with joy and driven by purpose. Start with gratitude and build from there. You owe it to yourself to live a life powered by appreciation, happiness, and unstoppable motivation. The first step is yours. Take it now and feel the change begin. Chapter 20. Commit fully to lifelong growth and self-improvement. What if everything you believed about success, happiness, and fulfillment hinged on one unwavering decision, the choice to never stop growing, learning, and becoming? To fully commit to a lifelong journey of growth and self-improvement is not just an option. It is the difference between living a life of quiet regret and one of relentless purpose. Imagine waking up every day with a fire in your soul that refuses to be extinguished, a hunger to become better than you were yesterday, no matter the circumstances or setbacks. This is the power that commitment to growth brings. It transforms your existence from static survival into vibrant evolution. But this is not about quick fixes or temporary motivation. It is about a deep, resolute dedication that carries you through every storm and triumph alike. Think about the people you admire most. What do they have in common? It's not just talent or luck. It's a relentless pursuit of improvement, a refusal to settle, and an embrace of discomfort as a sign of progress. They commit themselves fully, not half-heartedly, to sharpening their skills, broadening their knowledge, and expanding their mindset. This commitment fuels resilience and ignites unstoppable momentum. Many people want to improve, but few commit fully. Commitment is a declaration to yourself that no matter what challenges come, you will keep moving forward. It is saying, "I am worth this effort," and backing it up with consistent action. It is a decision to reject excuses and distractions that pull you off course. This decision alone rewires your brain to seek growth as a fundamental need, not a fleeting desire. Self-improvement demands more than motivation. Motivation can be fleeting, fickle, and dependent on external factors. Commitment, however, is a steady force. It acts as an internal compass, guiding you when motivation wanes. When your energy dips, when obstacles pile up, your commitment keeps you anchored and focused. It is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. Growth requires a mindset that welcomes discomfort and uncertainty. It asks you to confront your weaknesses honestly, to seek feedback without defensiveness, and to embrace failure as a teacher, not an enemy. This mindset is not innate for most. It must be cultivated through conscious effort and repeated practice. The moment you accept this truth, you gain a new perspective on struggle. It becomes evidence of your path forward, not a sign to stop. Life is filled with distractions designed to keep you comfortable, complacent, and stuck. To fully commit to growth, you must build discipline to resist these traps. This means prioritizing what matters most, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It means saying no to short-term pleasures that steal time and energy from your development. The rewards are far greater: lasting satisfaction, confidence, and a life that continually evolves toward your highest potential. Growth is not a destination, it is a lifelong process. This means there is no point at which you arrive. Even when you achieve great success, the commitment to grow keeps you humble, hungry to improve further. This humility protects you from stagnation and arrogance, while your hunger pushes you beyond what you thought possible. One powerful way to embody lifelong growth is by developing daily habits that nurture your mind, body, and spirit. Reading, journaling, physical exercise, and reflection are not just routines, they are investments in yourself. Each small effort compounds, building a foundation that supports massive change over time. When you commit fully, these habits become sacred, non-negotiable parts of your identity. But commitment isn't just about solitary work, it's also about surrounding yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. Your circle profoundly impacts your growth trajectory. Choose to spend time with those who raise your standards, encourage your development, and hold you accountable. Reject toxic influences that drain your energy or sabotage your progress. The company you keep either propels you forward or drags you backward. Choose wisely. Consider how commitment to growth affects your emotional resilience. Life will test you with losses, failures, and moments of doubt. Those who commit fully don't see these moments as signals to quit, but as fuel to get stronger. They develop mental toughness and emotional intelligence, learning to regulate their reactions and maintain clarity under pressure. This resilience is forged in the crucible of consistent growth. Committing fully means being brutally honest with yourself. It requires looking in the mirror and admitting where you fall short, without excuses or blame. This honesty is painful but liberating. It clears the fog of denial and reveals the path forward. Without this clarity, growth is impossible because you cannot fix what you refuse to see. Another often overlooked aspect of lifelong growth is the ability to reinvent yourself repeatedly. Life's circumstances change, and so must you. Commitment to growth means you remain flexible and adaptable, willing to learn new skills, explore new ideas, and redefine your identity when necessary. This adaptability is a hallmark of those who succeed long-term in any endeavor. It is easy to believe that growth is a grand event, like publishing a book, launching a business, or earning a degree. But true growth is found in the everyday choices you make. The moments when you choose learning over comfort, persistence over quitting, and progress over perfection. These choices build momentum that ultimately leads to transformation. The most powerful commitment you can make is to yourself. To honor your potential by showing up consistently, investing effort, and refusing to settle. This promise to yourself is sacred and must be guarded fiercely. When external validation fades, when critics doubt you, or when fear whispers lies, your commitment remains the unshakable foundation beneath your feet. Think about your future self, the person you want to become in 5, 10, or 20 years. Every decision you make today either brings you closer to that vision or pulls you further away. Commitment to growth is the thread that ties your present actions to your future success. It ensures that even the smallest daily efforts build a bridge to the life you desire. You may ask, how do I sustain this commitment when life gets overwhelming? The answer lies in purpose. When your growth is fueled by a clear, meaningful why, whether it's your family, a dream, or a cause, you gain energy that transcends exhaustion and doubt. This purpose serves as your North Star, guiding you through uncertainty and reinforcing your dedication. Lifelong growth also teaches humility. It reminds you that no matter how much you achieve, there is always more to learn and ways to improve. This humility opens your mind to new perspectives and keeps you curious. Curiosity, in turn, keeps growth exciting and prevents stagnation. Remember, growth is a gift you give yourself every day. It is not a burden or a punishment. It is a joyful journey of discovery, challenge, and mastery. When you commit fully, you reclaim your power and design a life rich with meaning and fulfillment.